Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Around the Indoor Football World, where we cover all of the major indoor football leagues, whether it's the IFL, the NAL, the AAL, the AAL2, AF1, TAL, all the way down the line. But before we get into the episode, let's hit you with a little bit of metal to wake you up this morning, get you ready for all these topics. And then pretty soon after, we'll have a pretty big guest on to break some news. All right, before we welcome on our guest, how are you guys doing this morning, Krish? You're all decked out in your blue. Is there the reason for that today?
Yeah, no, I just want to say thank you to Roger Beck out in Columbus for getting me right with the T-shirt. Really happy to support the great organization that they got going down there. No, I'm doing good this morning. Excited for the show.
Absolutely. I think we've got some stuff coming up that will surprise some people, which we'll get to that here shortly. TJ, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Can't wait to get into the news and everything else. And then, hey, even a little college football later. So it's a good day.
There you go. There you go. Nothing but football. Oh, and before we get into it, actually welcome on our fourth host for this morning. What's up, Cody? How's it going, man?
Yo.
All right. Well, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and welcome on our next guest. And I'm going to go ahead and welcome on Coach Thomas Manas. Coach Manas, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. How are you doing this morning? I know there was a reason that you wanted to come on, so let's go ahead and lead with that and give you the opportunity to kind of tell the people what the big news is all about.
Well, I figured, Sam, I just wanted to pull the Band-Aid off completely because I get a lot of texts and emails and really nice people asking, what my plans are. So I'm going to kind of shock a lot of people, I think. But I've got my reasoning behind it, and I'd like to explain it. So I'm going to be taking on the role of head coach and owner consultant, if you will, for an AAL2 team, believe it or not, in Michigan, which is the Michigan Avengers.
One of my favorite guys in any league, Ron Billingsley. He is one of the most entertaining guys to have on when it comes to podcasts and stuff.
Well, Sam, let me tell you the backstory on this whole thing, how it started. Ron was actually a player at Oakland University when we won our national championships there, and he went on to become an entrepreneur and continued playing when he could. Really good football player, really good nose guard. And we connected. And one of the things that I said to him was, I'm intrigued because you're literally 23 minutes from my front door to your practice facility. And I've never had that. And that was a really big factor, not only Ron himself, but also the fact that it's so close to home that I can literally still see Miss Susan and the grandbabies and my kids and get to do some football stuff. And I thought, what a great platform to work on things that I want to carry over maybe, next year or the year after that, whether it be here or be with back in the IFL or, the AFL. So I thought, you know what, I can help Ron out. I can show him a lot of the stuff that needs to be done. But I was pleasantly surprised after our initial conversation. And we can get into the details on that. But let me tell you what, if you're interested in playing, and I'm saying this clearly, professional football in Michigan for the Michigan Avengers, we're actually going to have some housing. You get paid. Everything's first class. I told him that was conditional, that we had those things for the guys. We practice facilities outstanding. Game day field's going to be outstanding. brand new turf, brand new everything. It's just he's vested in this, and so the least I can do is give him 7 months of my time to try to produce a good football team.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go down the row right now. Krish, what's your reaction to this news? And go ahead and kick us off with the question, my friend.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, Coach. Really happy for you. I guess my question is, in terms of pay, what are you expecting, like minimum pay to be?
Well, it's the same as the IFL. It's $200 a game. And nobody does that at this level, but he does. And his offer to me was overly generous. So what I'm getting at is that everything that we've done, and you can't say, well, we'll see if they're around, by the time this is third year, so a lot of the scabs have already been pulled off. And, our expectation, Ron's and myself, is to hit the ground running and have a great place for these kids to come. The other side of that is with the pay is that we're going to do outstanding film work. So I've never said this publicly because at certain levels, it's not necessarily your job to develop. I mean, you can help, but you're helping a guy go maybe to the UFL or Canadian or even the NFL tryouts. But at this level, it's about getting that guy great film and a great opportunity to advance himself and continue to play football. We're not going to have 50-year-old guys or, guys that are coming out of high school that never played before and stuff like that. No, this is a full deal. As a matter of fact, I don't know if anybody knows this, my agent, Buddy Walters, has a very successful, he's an NFLPA agent. I spoke to him last night. He's agreed to come on as my director of player personnel. So we're covering all aspects of it. Yesterday I signed a doctor, so we're going to have a team physician on the sidelines, all the things. Again, I'm trying to make these kids NFL. If this is as far as they go, I'm going to give them a great pro experience. If they have aspirations of going up, I don't want them to see this big disparity in how they're treated between our team and when they move to other places.
TJ, any questions for Coach?
Yeah, first off, I am shocked, I am surprised, but I am extremely happy. In my opinion, you being, the AAL2 is already a rising brand, and now that you're attached to it, it just blew it up a little bit more even. So for me, some of the first thoughts that I had were, what do you think you'll face any difficulties or challenges talking some guys into the AAL2 brand?
Oh yeah. It took me a minute. So I think that I'm not going to talk anybody into anything. I'm going to just say, if you want to play football and you want to have the opportunity to develop and you want to have the opportunity to get a first-class experience, then come play for us. If you don't, good luck to you. The coach is always looking for other players. So, I don't have a problem with trying to, tell a player, hey, look, this is a great opportunity. I'll give you an example. There's a defensive back out of New Jersey. He can play DB and he can play Jack. And I really, really like here. I really, really like him a lot. And the first thing I said to the owner is he'd be someone that we want to go ahead and house. And he's someone that has an opportunity. He's good enough, his skill set, he could be in the IFL right now. And then, where he goes from there, great. My plan is to have a big roster because I got a feeling a lot of my guys are going to get cherry picked. If history proves itself, people look at rosters and they see things and they do things. But my biggest thing is this. I'm humbled by this. I don't think I'm this big fish in a small pond. I think I'm just a small fish in a big pond. There's some good coaches. There's some great owners. There's some good teams in this league. Todd's doing a fantastic job in the IFL. The AF1 they're getting their thing together. They're doing good. They're doing really well. TAL's expanding. Again, I'm nothing against them. I just want an opportunity, one, to bring really good quality football to Michigan and to these kids. And then two is I'll repeat it. It's 23 minutes from my front door. That's really hard to beat.
That's
Absolutely.
almost impossible in coaching.
100%. Cody, any questions?
Yeah. Excuse me. Good morning. Hope you're doing good.
Good morning.
Question that I have for you is, why now? With everything, your track record, I'm not trying to demean it or anything like that, but the track record that you have to go to the AAL2, why now? Why do you, and again, that's not to trash anything. I'm not trying to talk down or anything, but why now? Why do you think the timing is right to make this step to go where you're going?
Well, there was only really one or two teams that I was very interested in last year or this year, trying to get with in the IFL. And they pretty much had already made up their mind on where they were going to go before I left Mass. And so I talked to Buddy, my agent, and I said, you know what? I'm okay with just hunting and fishing until 27. I don't need to be relevant. It's not about me in any way, shape, or form. I send texts to guys all the time. I talk to coaches all the time from all the leagues. I haven't told anybody about this. I'm sure I'm going to get some crap for it. But I basically, the reason the timing is right now for me is because it's almost like a Christmas present for my family. We get our football fix. We're a football family. My wife loves going to the games. My kids love going to the games. And it's been hard because sometimes when you're far away, this happens. So I said, hey, if I give you 1 year of me around the house, are you okay with that? And we had a big family discussion. We talked about it. We prayed about it. And the idea was, hey, you know what? This could work. And it keeps me, I'm like a heroin addict, it's I don't have to get away from the game. I can still work on things that I want to develop for the future. And if I can give back to this game after it's been so very good to me and my family, then that's what I want to do. And I want to bring the God family football concept to the Avengers. I want to bring high character to my team. I want to bring, it's funny because in the IFL, you watch coaches shows or you watch podcasts, and coaches are extremely humble. They're always talking about how tough it is, how, they're just trying to be relevant. They're trying to make their team successful and so on. And then you go into some other leagues, especially the AL2, which I found crazy. I watch some podcasts and I love them. Man, these coaches talk a lot of crap. I mean, they talk a lot of crap, which is good. I mean, they got a lot of bravado, and it'll be fun reminding them about competition. We'll just say that. It'll be fun, so I'm going to take the approach this year coming into this, just keep my head down, do my job well. Don't get distracted from any outside influences. And number one, help these kids continue to play ball, but not only that, play professional football and be treated well and hopefully move up.
So I wanted to ask a question that I think is probably pretty on everybody's minds who's watching. So what happens if an IFL team approaches you, similar to last season, like Massachusetts did when they made a move mid-season, and the situation makes sense for you? Are you able to then pursue that opportunity, or are you locked down with the AAL2?
I am. Contractually, I am. Yes. And,
okay.
and again, my number one goal is to help Ron get this thing. So if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, it would run smooth and you wouldn't miss a beat. The other part of that is in the matter of hiring coaching staff, bringing on guys with a similar mindset and skill set that are going to, be able to, they could take over for me in a heartbeat. Now that being said, I don't know what's going to happen relating to that, but I want to put all my energy into this and do everything I need to do. But that's also doesn't take away from the fact that I don't know what the future holds, so I'm not going to even try to guess, on that. I'm done trying to figure out owners, and what their thought process is. So all I can do is be me, and God willing, just do a good job for these people. So.
Absolutely. I'm not going to lie, Coach. When you called me earlier this week and told me this was something you were considering, I was surprised, to say the least. I mean, obviously, it makes sense logistically. You're 25 minutes away from your house. But, traditionally, the AAL2 really hasn't had, a ton of big-name coaches outside of Coach Resignaldo last season. So I was intrigued by it. But I also think that, this poses a benefit to not only you, but also the league, because they now have somebody with your experience to be able to kind of lean on and get some advice from in the building of the AL2 and making it more stable in the as it goes forward. So I actually think this is win-win for everybody.
I really appreciate that. That's very kind. But the other thing is, I really want to help develop coaches too, not just players. There's some really good football minds out there that haven't been given an opportunity. And I want to see what I can do to help them achieve some of their goals and to be successful in the things that they want to do too. So if I can help, I'm more than willing to do that. As a matter of fact, let me see here. I had written down a couple things that might clear up some. I think I've covered a lot already. But if anyone has a pencil and a piece of paper, we're Michigan Avengers on Facebook. I think the official site is Michigan Avengers Football. I'm learning everything, guys. Sorry. You can reach out through there, or I'm going to do something I've never done in my life. You can go to Coach Tomanas at gmail.com and just email me. If you have an interest in being a part of this thing. And we have a tryout coming up. We're going to announce it probably today or tomorrow. Specifically, that tryout is going to be on January 18th at 12 noon. And then all the specifics will be laid out. That'll be at let me see exactly where we just got this. I hate being unprepared, guys. I'm sorry. It'll be at the Saginaw Athletic Club. So we're going to do a tryout from noon to like 2:30, 3 o'clock. We'll be signing players and all that. But I want to encourage any player that has an interest, especially in the Michigan area, okay, to reach out to me and coaches as well that are interested in interviewing for a position.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. First of all, congratulations, Coach. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Ron. I think he's very entertaining, great guy. Love talking with him. But I also wanted to pull up the official press release, which I'm sure will be out later on today. So if anybody wanted to read the team statement on it, here it is. But also, yeah, like Coach said, go follow Michigan Avengers on Facebook. I believe they're on Instagram as well. And then also check out our content on the AAL2 here on Shady Sports Network. It's also on the AAL2 pages. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. Really excited to see what you can bring to the Avengers in 2026. And something tells me that the Avengers just became the favorite to win a championship. In the
I don't know
AAL.
about that, but we're going to sure try. I got to get a team first, so
That's fair. That's fair. I think most of the other teams are in the same boat.
Thank you, and everybody. Merry Christmas. If I don't talk to you before then, and God bless you. And I appreciate the opportunity to let the potential players and coaches know that there's some opportunity here in Michigan.
Absolutely. So you heard it here first. If you're in Michigan and you want to play some football, hit up Coach Manas. You can find him on Facebook, and then also you can find the team on Facebook and then Instagram as well. So, Coach, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. And like I said, best of luck in 2026. So we definitely will be following very closely.
Well, thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
On that
it.
note, we will send you out the way only we can. All right. So obviously some huge news this morning. Before we move on and bring on our next guest, I wanted to welcome on Coach B. Coach B, how are you doing this morning? All right. Just kidding. Apparently he popped right back off. So I'm sure he'll be back on as soon as he can get his reception figured out. But we will bring on New Mexico Chupacabras offensive coordinator, is it Colton Hansen or Colton Michael? Uh-oh. We cannot hear you, sir. Let's see. You may need to back out and come back in. We have no volume with you. All right, we'll see if we can't get that figured out. Here's Coach B. Coach B, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good, fellas. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing pretty well. Thank you for joining us. Perfect timing. So before we bring on the offensive coordinator for the Chupacabras, let's go around the table real quick. Get your guys' reactions on the news with Coach Manas, and then we'll get hopefully Coach Hansen on here in a second. Let's go to Coach B first. You didn't have a chance to ask a question or anything. What do you think about Coach Manas joining the Michigan Avengers?
I didn't get to catch it. What is he coming on as? The head coach, GM?
Head coach, ownership consultant.
Okay. I think it's a good move. He get to build something up from the ground up and make it to what he wanted to be, and he get to still coach. I think it is right. Like Chris always say, Chris a big fan of Minaj. He needs to be coaching somewhere. He does have a lot of knowledge to give to people. So I think it is beneficial for him to be out there in Michigan, and hopefully that's going to be a good situation for him. With him out there, that should help them build up in the AAL2 this year, then eventually go over to the AAL next year.
That'd probably be the hope.
Yep, that's what kind of like what I'm doing. I'm consulting with the Ohio Legends, helping them in the AAL2 to get together. They actually are going to be the only team in the AAL2 that plays in the arena.
Interesting. Much like Mississippi last season.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
we see where they're at now. So, all right, let's see. Sorry, go ahead, Coach.
They'll be playing in the Marion Fairgrounds in Marion, Ohio.
Interesting. Getting all kinds of AAL2 nuggets today. Love it. So, yeah, as always, wanted to shout this out. We were going to have Cool McCain, our AAL2 host, on this morning, but as I mentioned before, he had to work at 3 a.m. last night, so probably why he's not here this morning. So, if you have not caught any of our AAL2 content, really recommend checking it out. We also have a full line of AAL content now. So With all that being said, we're going to go ahead and try and bring on Coach Hansen again. Coach, can you hear us now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you great now.
Perfect. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Let me get this camera situation figured out. I apologize. Don't know why it's tripping out all of a sudden. All right, sorry about that. So obviously you have taken the position as offensive coordinator for the New Mexico Chupacabras for 2026. Can you go ahead and just kick us off? Give us a little bit of background on your coaching career, where you were at before this, how you ended up with New Mexico.
Coached a minor league team in Dubuque Miners, and then while I was up there, Power were coming in, and ended up coaching with the Power for a little while, and then once things went haywire there, Coach Kyle actually reached out because of the posts that were being made, and said, "We got a place for you." So.
Interesting. So I was not aware of that. Did you have any prior connection to Coach Kyle?
I actually played for Coach Kyle.
Okay.
Back when he coached for the Cedar Rapids Titans.
Very nice. So tell us a little bit about your playing career. Sorry, I don't mean to hound all the questions here.
I mean, I played college ball at University of Dubuque, and then signed my first arena deal in Erie, Pennsylvania. Played out there a couple of years, and then played in Cedar Rapids a couple of years.
Very nice. And I apologize, Cody. You're supposed to be hosting this segment. I'll let you take it away.
Oh, I didn't know we were already switching that up. Good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain. Question I've got for you here. What in your opinion is the trickiest thing about, because I go back and forth on whether you guys are, quote, a brand new team or an extension of the Duke City Gladiators, but what is the selling point for the New Mexico Chupacabras on trying to get players over there and trying to pretty much promote this new/old team?
The new ownership group, that alone right there, they have gone above and beyond for everything that we could imagine. I obviously was very hesitant taking the deal to begin with, coming from the situation I did. And, I went down there and met with them, and they make you feel like family right away. They take care of everything you need, and, everything's going to be brand new outside of the field.
I dig it. TJ, do you have anything?
Hi, Coach. Welcome on. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
What are some of the behind the scenes stuff that people may not know about, newer teams as opposed to older teams when you go in?
Well, I mean, it starts from the ground up, right? Like, you got to get a field in. You got to get the dasher boards. You got to get the swag going. Get out into the community. Let them know that it's ran by a different group. Make it known that, whatever took place before is going to change for the better. And, just go out and be a part of the community, honestly.
I'll let Coach B take this one. Go ahead, Coach.
What up, man?
What's up, man? What up, man? Good morning.
Good morning.
Guys, it's a little different for me, yo. I played with Colton, with Cedar Rapids, and we coached together this past year, so I know what he can do and I know what he can bring to the table. So I just want to ask, what are your goals for 2026 with the New Mexico as an offensive coordinator? Because I know what you can do and I know you got something in store.
Goals to win it all. I mean, obviously, that's got to be your ultimate goal. Obviously, we'll have individual goals, game goals, all that stuff. But, I mean, if you're playing this game, it's for a reason, and it's to win it all. So,
Where do you see New Mexico going with this organization the next 2 to 3 years?
I believe that, the IFL's taking care of them really well so far, doing some big things for them. And then obviously with, the TV deals, I believe New Mexico is going to blow up for sure.
Dig it. Coach, recently broke news, probably about a month or so ago, of signing Jerome Johnson, former Indoor Football League MVP. How big of a relationship is it between you and him to be on the same page with the offense to make sure that it is clicking on all cylinders?
It's absolutely huge. And, I've talked to him almost every other day since the news broke. I let him know that I want him to be comfortable, because if your quarterback ain't comfortable, then nobody's going to be comfortable. So if he has ideas, I'm an open door. Lay anything on me you can. I'll go through it with him. And, if it works, we'll put it in the playbook. If he's got different ideas, I'm all ears. So, we'll work together, make things happen.
Sam, you got anything?
Yeah, you've had some interesting signings on offense. Maurice Ashley, one of them that kind of sticks out to me. Talk to us a little bit about your approach on the offensive personnel. I mean, some of these guys I feel are a little under the radar. Guys that maybe a lot of us have not heard of, or we saw them play in maybe a lower level before. So talk to us about some of the players you're excited about, how you see them fitting, stuff like that.
Honestly, every player that I've talked to, whether it be from a smaller league or already signed with IFL or AFL before, I tell them I don't want you here for more than a year. Like, my goal for them is to move them up as fast as possible and give them every opportunity possible to move up as well. As far as the guys go, I mean, they're already clicking. I mean, we've had group chats here and there. They're already meeting on their own, which is awesome. You can't have a team without camaraderie and that brotherhood. And that's the biggest thing. I think we have enough vets and enough young guys that the vets are kind of running the show right now and kind of making them feel at home. And not to be too worried about what's to come.
I dig it. TJ, Coach B, Sam, do you guys have any other questions? I mean, I've got one really quick. From the transactions page on the Indoor Football League website, you guys signed or re-signed, I guess. I still don't know how to go about it. You guys signed Jason Serta, and I know that's on the defensive side of the ball, but he's a huge fan favorite down there in New Mexico. To bring him back, what does that mean to that team, that fan base, that organization, to bring someone like him back into the fold with that veteran leadership?
I mean, for the fan base, absolutely. They went nuts once they heard the signing. So, that's probably the most shared player signing announcement. He's been down there for a long time. And when he came to the tryout in November, he still got it. So we had to give him a shot for sure.
That was an awesome signing, and I imagine at this point in his career, he's basically a coach on the field. I mean, I think he's been playing since like 2015 or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a long time for sure.
Great guy as well. But another addition to the Chupacabras, you guys added Chris Hemphill, another guy that we're very, very familiar with here on the network, and somebody that we will be having on in a couple weeks. Talk to me about how he's kind of added a little bit of an element to that team, and how has recruiting shifted? I know he's kind of in the recruiting department.
He's nonstop go. I'm on the phone with him daily. He's always sending me people, or saying I'm talking to so and so, or I'll be like, hey, can you reach out to him? And he's on it right away. He's not taking his time, sitting back and letting things slide by him at all. He's constantly reaching out to agents and players, and it's been huge for sure for me, a huge help for me, coming from the Iowa Power, where I kind of just came in to a team that was already assembled, to when I got signed with New Mexico. They basically handed me the keys and said, go do it. And I've obviously been out of the IFL for quite a while, and I was like, oh, okay. And so Hemp's been there supporting me every step of the way too. He's a great addition to the team for sure.
DJ, Sam, Coach B, anything else?
What does it mean to have a head coach like Coach Kyle, who's coming fresh off of a championship? Has that helped in the recruiting department at all?
Oh, I'm absolutely. Kyle is a player's coach. He wants to do what's best. I'll say he's a team coach. He wants what's best for everybody else before himself, and you couldn't ask for more from a head coach when it comes to Kyle.
Absolutely, and I imagine having his expertise on the offensive line probably won't hurt your feelings as an offensive coordinator.
No, it does not. Absolutely.
So, talk to us a little bit about your aspirations for your own career. I mean, obviously, you already jumped from the Iowa Power up to the New Mexico Chupacabras. I mean, long term, do you see yourself as a potential head coach? Where do you want to go from here? Eventually?
Honestly, when all this started, I wasn't going to coach. I didn't want to coach because I felt like I could still play. And, stepping into that semi-pro team, and I was the offensive coordinator there, fell in love with the game in a whole different aspect. And, I run the youth program here in Anamosa, Iowa, and, we damn near went undefeated this year, lost one game and with 3 teams. So it's been fun. I would love to go get a head coaching job. Absolutely. I feel like the knowledge I have, I can help anybody out. And I'm also going to put the players first. And B will tell you this, like, if it ain't about the players, it ain't about me. Cause I'll lose my mind over the players, for the players.
That's fair. I feel like that resonates at this level, especially. We all know that there can be some dark sides of indoor football. Obviously, that's a lot more rare at the IFL level. So hopefully, you get to just focus on football and not the stuff off the field this year. So I think that'll probably help the whole scenario for you, I imagine. But
absolutely,
Coach, really appreciate your time this morning. Cody, did you have anything else?
I just had one last question. The last 4 years, you've had a different team from the Western Conference win the Indoor Football League National Championship.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the talent, the expertise, and obviously, like Sam mentioned, your coach just won a championship. How do you make New Mexico number 5?
It's going to take that brotherhood that I talked about. And, Coach Kyle teaches that, coaches that. Coach X, same way. I played with X when he played. He's always been a team guy, and it's about rallying the troops nonstop. An expansion team's never won it, So, our ultimate goal is to put that to an end. And, as long as we stick together and work together, I see it happening for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Coach. Really appreciate it. And then also thank you everybody watching who stuck with us through the minor issues there. Before we let you get out of here, how can players get a hold of you if they want to play for the New Mexico Chupacabras? And how
they can send me an email. I'm on Facebook under Colton Michael. Otherwise, send me an email at colton@chupacabras.net.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys actually have a tryout coming up here shortly. So, about a month here, you guys have this tryout coming up. So you can sign up there at chupacabras.net. Any final words for fans before you get out of here, Coach?
Nope. I appreciate you having me. I'm looking forward to the season for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for you taking the time out early this morning. I know you're an hour behind most of us here, so I really appreciate you coming on this morning.
Hey, really quick. Yep. With that tryout, are those the actual uniforms, or is that just a mock-up?
I didn't see it. I don't think those are the actual uniforms. It might be. I think we have 4 different uniforms coming in. So,
wow,
yeah,
love it. Interesting. A little nugget there for everybody. All right, Coach, really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much. We definitely would love to have you back on closer to the season so we can break down the roster or something like that if you're interested.
Absolutely.
Completely up to you.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep. Have a good one, B.
You as well. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Thank you for joining us.
You guys as well. Appreciate it.
Definitely. Once again, that was Colton Hansen, the offensive coordinator with the New Mexico Chupacabras. We're going to hit a quick commercial break. We'll come back, discuss the IFL topics, and let Cody continue to lead this segment. And then we will come back and talk some NAL news afterward with another guest. In case you did not catch it last week, we are now partnered with the Columbus Lions, but also all right, it sounds like Cody's having some internet issues, so we'll see if we can't get him back on. Obviously, if you guys were paying attention, which if you're here this morning, you probably are an avid indoor football fan, so you probably caught the news that Yahoo Sports will be broadcasting, I believe is it 60 games or is it 59 games? Let me pull up my information real here. 59 games this season for the IFL. So obviously this is huge news, but prior to this, they announced that 60 games would be on FanDuel Sports Network. So at this point, the IFL has one of probably the best broadcast packages for any indoor football league. So Krish, let's go to you first on this one. I'm sure you got a lot of thoughts. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, high level production attracts high level people. And so, I've been saying this since 2021 when we first joined this league. Like, where this league is going is to the moon because it has the right leadership in place. Every owner is accountable. And I think that's what you need for a league to grow. And I'm so happy for the players to be able to be showcased on a big platform, especially our guys. Our guys deserve to be playing in front of the most amount of people possible. And so I believe, this will be really good for the brand. It'll help grow it. And I'm so excited to see what games are on TV. I know they mentioned Quad City and Indy will be the opening kickoff for the Yahoo Sports Network, IFL. So I think that's huge. Quad City and Indy, those are two Eastern Conference favorites right there. So I'm really excited, and I think the league is going to continue to grow, continue to get bigger. This is just the start. So,
absolutely. TJ, what are your thoughts on this?
It's really exciting for the sport. It's like you said, it's probably the best, combined sports broadcasting package an indoor arena league has had in years, probably since way back with maybe the second iteration of the AFL. So that's how long we're talking. The thing I like the most about it is when I did look it up, it says that it is a 24/7 free app. So, because I know there was before when we announced FanDuel, it was kind of like some people were, it depends on your cable package, basically, if you get it included or if you have to pay extra for it. So the fact that the Yahoo Sports is planned to be free as well, that's, a huge plus. I think it's great for the branding of the IFL. And I think it's going to draw a lot of people in because what's one of the biggest gripes that they have is either the stream isn't good or it's too hard to find the games. Well, boom, here it is, on two mainstream apps. Here you go. So once again, I think the IFL proving why, again, not to disrespect any other league, but while they're kind of head and shoulders above everybody else currently, but Then again, they are the longest current running league, so they should be.
Yeah, great point there. If any league is going to have, the best broadcast package, the most stability, it should be the IFL. They've been around for 17, 18 years now. So I wanted to pull this up as well before I ask Coach Bia his opinion. Here's the broadcast team for the 2026 season.
See, that's amazing. See, Nate Tice, I read his articles all the time. He's a great writer. Jason Fitz. I mean, he's been hosting his NFL show for over 10 years at this point. So, these are all people I know, and they're recognizable. And so that says a lot because, again, high-level production attracts high-level people. And so this is the perfect example of that. And one thing I do want to say is, I know a lot of fans are like, why not YouTube? Why not YouTube? The ownership groups are spending more money. They're investing in the fan experience. So as fans, we should be happy that the IFL cares so much to up the fan experience.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple guys tuning in here. Sea Dog to go. The IFL is doing great with this deal. This deal is a win-win for everyone. Project Superfan, the Yahoo broadcast team consists of play-by-play host Jason Fitz, analyst Nick Tice, and sideline reporter Carolyn Fenton, according to the IFL website. Thank you for breaking down their roles. That helps. What will happen to the IFL network? My guess is that the IFL network will remain and will collect all the games after the fact and will be allowed for on-demand viewing. I could be wrong, but I do not have any knowledge to this point about that. I'm totally guessing when I'm guessing this.
Do you still have to pay for the IFL network?
That I'm not aware of either. As of right now, they have not emailed me about renewing. I would imagine it wasn't going to come until, February anyway. But I would imagine with this news, probably not. But we'll see. We'll see. I honestly have not done a lot of research to see if this is an exclusive broadcast rights or, if this is a simulcast rights or how it works. If it's a simulcast and they can put all the games on IFL Network as well, then I think, yeah, you probably still have to pay for it. But that's definitely going to be some knowledge that we all have to dig on over the next couple of weeks to try and find.
Yeah, 'cause I know with FanDuel, you do have to pay for FanDuel. Even if you got it in your package, you got to add it on if you didn't have it officially. So you have to pay for the FanDuel.
I feel like somehow I'm getting free FanDuel, and the more I talk about it on the show, they're going to start charging me now.
Hey, well, remind us one more time.
I don't watch TV. I'm a loner.
No, but guys,
I do have one added point to the IFL network, though. Reports did come out recently, once all the news broke out, that the IFL network was a test for last year.
Yeah.
I mean, again, not to start a fire or talk smack, but does everyone really believe that was a one-year experiment, or do you feel like the IFL network probably kind of failed, pissed a lot of people off, and now they're kind of retracting on it? Because I'm kind of leaning towards that side.
Yeah, it was hard last year, TJ. I'm not gonna lie. It was sometimes, I paid for the subscription and I got on and I was locked out. Couldn't watch a game because it was a technical difficulty. So you had to sometimes reach out to the help center to get into your own app or get in, and you pay for the service. So it wasn't all peachy last year, but it was resourceful.
I mean, I'll say this, and one thing I was going to say is, every league, again, if you want a greater fan experience, you have to invest. I watched Hard Knocks for the first time yesterday. That was worth the $20. You know what I mean? You pay for what you get. I thought the IFL network was amazing last year. I think they had, in the beginning, maybe the first 1 to 2 weeks, they had issues. But other than that, man, the camera quality, the production, the broadcasting, everything was at such a high level. For us, our ownership, we, unlike Vegas, we actually invested in the sideline cameras. So we have the best sideline cameras in the league. And I expect that to continue, in Orlando, high level sideline cameras, because that's important to our ownership group.
But with the Yahoo deal and the FanDuel deal, I don't think any team is going to be singled out. Everybody has to have the same quality.
Yeah, exactly. So
production,
production.
So I love the idea of them doing this deal, but then it comes down to all these teams has to spend money on production because production has to be the same across the board and it has to be on point. And that's what a lot of teams don't get. You can have all these big deals, you can have ESPN and all that, but if you're not paying for the proper production, it don't mean anything because it's gonna look shabby. It is gonna take the deal away. So if the teams in the IFL all are going to invest in proper production, I think this going to work. If they get revenue sharing from this, I think it should work. I don't think they should be just strictly paying for this service to get the broadcast. I think they should get some revenue sharing out of it.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting facet to kind of try and figure out. See if they have. Hold on, Cody, you good?
Yeah, I have no idea what just happened on my computer, so I had to pull out the laptop and go from there. So hopefully you guys can hear me, you can see me, and everything's fine now.
Yeah, everything's great. Perfect timing. So I wanted to get your opinion on this as well. Obviously, we were talking about the broadcast package for the IFL. So, what are your thoughts on the addition of Yahoo Sports to the already announced FanDuel package?
I think it's a great addition. It's going to be a lot easier for people just to go to Yahoo. I mean, as one of the second biggest search engine behind Google, obviously. So it'll be easier to just point and click. I think that's one of the biggest gripes that I've had personally, and I know a lot of other people have, is trying to get this stuff not necessarily for free. Obviously, for free is the best, but in order to make sure that people can get exposure to the sport, you need to be able to find a place where people can access it easily. And that's why, people think fondly of YouTube. I think Yahoo handles that really, really well in the aspect of you can literally just type in Yahoo Sports and it's going to be on there. And that is something that, as of right now, no other league is doing. And then especially you add in the FanDuel aspect, the betting aspect, anything, you get the 3 commentators from Yahoo Sports to be calling select games, and they are actually going to be kicking off the season. If you read their press release, it's going to be Yahoo starting first with, Quad City and Fishers, and then you've got the rematch on FanDuel. So that's your week 1. You actually get to start out with Yahoo first, and then you go over to FanDuel for the IFL Championship rematch from last year.
Absolutely. So one comment I wanted to get here and get kind of work around here. IFL Networks was for analytical data. It will be a host for replay games and other content going forward. Obviously, we all know they announced there's going to be some sort of reality TV show, most likely that's coming out, involving the IFL. So that I imagine will be on the IFL Network as well. That was something that I had not considered earlier. I do think that the IFL Network was launched specifically for the data that it gave them. I do think that there are some interesting arguments to be had that the YouTube data could have provided similar things for them. But I wondered, I think this is more part of that data is the pay aspect of it. Are fans still going to watch? Are they still going to invest their money? And IFL Network told them that, yes, fans are going to continue investing their money and watching the IFL product. So I think that helped them kind of sell their product to broadcast networks that were potentially going to have a paywall. So I think there's some value in that for the IFL Network that kind of that you didn't get with YouTube. And I've seen the arguments that, yes, YouTube, you can get the same analytical data, but that part of it is not something you get from YouTube. So, I mean, any other thoughts on the overall package, the approach to how they all did things, and the IFL Network, anything on that subject in particular?
I think the Indoor Football League Network is kind of used as Coach Davis said, it's going to be for the archival, games that you can watch it next day and stuff. The question I get, or the question I want to raise there is that still going to be behind a paywall, or is it going to be something you watch next day for free? Because as of right now, earlier this year, you got the email saying, hey, you can go watch all the archive games for free. Are you still going to have that paywall since, I don't know if you're going to have to pay for FanDuel Sports Network or whatever the case could be. And I believe Yahoo is going to be free. You just point and click. So that's kind of the question that I have with that.
I saw a comment that said, I think that would be I think they should use the IFL Network for coaching shows, documentaries on team podcasts, and things like that.
100%.
Well, last year, if you remember, on Strictly Business, Green Bay's owners said, we're going to put this behind the paywall. Like, eventually, everything is going to be on the Indoor Football League network. I'm not calling the bluff, but we'll see if that happens, because they're still putting their shows on YouTube and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see how that goes, if they're going to start putting that stuff on the Indoor Football League network, archiving it that way, which I haven't been on there since the season ended. So I don't know if they've added, subtracted, whatever the case could be. So if they start doing that and adding more coaches shows, more podcasts, and really getting things involved with that, then it's just a huge boon for the Indoor Football League, where you've got an entire website dedicated to your league, your games, your teams, your coaches, your players. And then you have these two external websites, FanDuel and Yahoo, where a lot of people go to really showcase, like, here's our players, here's our coaches. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for these guys to not just move up, but to showcase their brand. And that is going to be very, very good for the Indoor Football League.
I think more content is good too, like what Cody was saying. Like, I feel like I think the more, I watch the Green Bay show every week because I think they do a good job for the most part, peeling a layer back, and they allow you to see things in a different way. And I think if every team could do some type of content, I think it would be good for the network for sure.
The issue that I have with that is we have some teams that barely keep up with their own website. So asking them to do a weekly podcast, asking them to do, a show a week or things like that, it's kind of like pulling teeth. But we'll see if they start like getting more stringent with that, or how they start going about it. Because like you said, more content's good content. If you get a little peek behind the curtain without them spilling all the beans, that's great. Like what Green Bay does, where they're like, hey, we're going to like slow leak a little bit, like give you little nuggets here at a time, little teases, marketing 101. It'll keep you coming back for more. And if the Indoor Football League can do that, like I said, you're just going to make fans want to keep coming back.
Agreed. And I do think that it would be nice to see some sort of team show. Maybe it's not weekly, maybe it's on a monthly schedule or something like that. But it would be nice to have some sort of team dedicated podcast or something of the sort for each team. So if you're a Chupacabras fan, you can jump on there and you can hear about the injury reports and all that stuff on a weekly basis. And maybe it's not a ton of big news coming out, but if it's your team, you're probably going to watch it. If there was a dedicated show to the Eagles somewhere, I would probably be watching that. So, just a quick example. But here in a bit, we're going to be welcoming on another guest. But before we get to that, there was a couple other pieces of IFL information we're going to get through real quick. There isn't really, it's more transactional. So we'll go ahead and bring this up. Make sure I pull up the right one first. This is one of the big moves that came out of the past couple weeks. Liam Thompson has signed with the Green Bay Blizzard. Blizzard recently lost Max Mailer to the Arizona Rattlers. So this is actually a really big move for the Blizzard. They kind of needed a quarterback that could come in and start. Let's go around the horn real quick. Let's go to Cody first. What are your thoughts on Thompson jumping over to the Blizzard? And how do you think he fills that quarterback one spot for them?
Well, it's just another Bay Area Panther going over to Green Bay. So I'll steal the joke from Trey from Off the Wall. It's the Green Bay Area Panthers. And it's a good signing. I mean, with the limited action that he saw in Bay Area, I think he started the very final regular season game. He got in there every now and again. Obviously, you see him there with, Giants mini camp with his photo and all of that. It's a very, very good signing. To me, I am curious to see how it goes, because Green Bay not only lost Max Mailer, they lost Kaimani Clark to the Arizona Rattlers. So there's a good 1-2 punch when it comes to your offensive skills. Now, they do bring back quite a bit of talent as well, but they do sign a lot on the defensive side of the ball. So if that defense can keep them in the games, Thompson might have to just be that, quote, game manager, which I don't think he is. But he's done really, really well in college. Hopefully he does well with a full-time starting gig. That doesn't mean he's earned it, but if he does beat out Cole, I can't remember his last name. His last name is escaping me. But if he beats out the rookie, then, all ships go, I guess.
It was definitely an interesting signing, so I'm glad to see that they got a quarterback in there. Like you said, they've got a couple different people there from Bay Area. TJ, Krish, Coach B, any thoughts on this before we move on to the one other transaction news?
I like it. I like it. I think he might have found him a spot where he could start at this season. It's up to him to lose the spot, honestly, in my eyes. I think he has the potential to take it and run with it. Coach Robeson over there is doing a good job recruiting. Like you said, they said the defense is coming along. We just got to see what that offense can it replicate what it did last year. They was able to retain their OC, so that was a good thing. So just seeing how you correlate everything to the field and do it. But I think he has a good chance to be the starter out there. Now, what they do this season is up to him and the OC.
I'll speak to this because I watched Liam play the last game against us. I was super impressed with him. His ability to move the pocket, his awareness for a rookie starting his first game against top level defense. I thought he did amazing. He looked really good, and so he's going to Green Bay, where Coach Matt down there. He has a history of developing quarterbacks with Jerome, Max Myler, and then Skylar Perry even for a little bit too. So I just and Jack Sheehan is another one that I'm gonna slip my mind there. But I think it's a great spot for him. He'll be starting for sure, 100%. And Green Bay found a quarterback. I think they did a really good job. This is a home run hit for them. So I'm excited to watch him play. Sure.
Absolutely, Coach. So TJ, any thoughts?
I agree with Cody. I'm going to be interested to see how he does since he had limited action last year. But in college, set records, had a shot, was in camp with the Giants for a little bit. So, I think it's a great signing. Obviously, the guy has skill. Let's see if he can translate it to the indoor game. And in little action from last season, he looked good. So, hopefully, he brings it this year. And I think Green Bay got a good pick.
Absolutely. Big news for them. So last bit of transaction news is Todd Simmons Jr. has signed with yet another team, his fourth of the offseason. He has signed with the Wyoming Cavalry, the Wheeling Miners, the Nashville Cats, and most recently the San Antonio Gunslingers. So obviously there's a lot of confusion on where he is going to play for the 2026 season. Any guesses? That's all we're going to do on this one. Anybody guess where he's actually going to show up?
I think it's gonna be San Antonio. Unlike you guys, I actually talked to Todd this week. Got an insight with him. Uh, he has a unique situation. He has a custody battle going on with his kid, so he has to stay where he at right now. But he's permanently moving to Dallas, Texas, in July. So the other teams he signed with, all from what I've heard, this is what he told me, agreed to fly him out just on game days so he don't have to practice or do anything. He just get flew out on game days to those other teams, but he's going to permanently be full time with San Antonio once he gets his legal issues cleared up and he's able to travel down there because he's moving to Dallas, Texas permanently.
So Nashville Cats and Coach Darren Arbet are gonna fly out a receiver that won't even start and won't even dress on game day. Like that's crazy, Coach. No way, but no.
Hey, you say no way, but I've been around this game way longer than you, and I seen stranger things happen. You might think it don't not even that. I've seen some guys who haven't even touched the field get privileges and stuff from coaches and ownership. So when you say stuff, you better be sure you got stuff to back it up.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm telling you. He don't have to start, but if they fly him out there, they fly him out there. He don't have to start to get flown out there.
There are 5 receivers better than him on the roster already. But no, look, Coach, I respect that. But
see, when we say wide receivers better than him, we're going off prediction. Because if he get in camp and then he come out of camp and he's the number 1 receiver, then you're gonna have to bite your foot.
No, he's not better than Malik Honeycutt. He's not. Malik Honeycutt's one of the best.
We don't know who is. We can't. I tell players every year. What you did last year don't matter. You going off last year's stats and stats they have you where it don't matter. If Malik Honeycutt come in 20 pounds heavier this year and can't, what? He ain't the best receiver on the team. So we can't talk until we get players in camp. So what we gonna do from now on, we gonna say they can compete and see if he wins a spot. But we're not gonna start saying definite starters because we don't know who's gonna be definite starters anywhere.
You should sign him with the Dallas Bulls so he won't show up like he does with the other teams he signs with. But no, I just, for me, I'll just say this: he's gonna play for San Antonio. He's a okay. So then I completely forgot. I can't keep up. I can't keep up. No, this guy is an attention seeker. He's a liability, and he's a waste of time and energy and space. He knows what he does. He posting like I'm the best. You're not even top 100, bro. Like stick to semi-pro. Go to New Jersey. Play for them. You're wasting people's time. That's all you're doing.
Now.
That's all you're doing.
Couple things. One, Jersey's now in the AAL. They're a pro team. Two, we don't slander Jersey or any of those teams on this show. Dead serious. Not going to deal with it. So
I'm not slandering. I'm just saying, like
you are. You're using them as a derogatory term for Todd Simmons playing, and I'm not gonna accept that. So we're not gonna do that. So on another note, we're going to go ahead and change subjects. We're going to go ahead and invite on our next guest, but we need to hit a quick commercial break.
Makes the catch and will be brought down on the play by Isaiah Hall.
All right, without further ado, we are joined by the quarterback of the Sioux City Bandits, Ed Crouch. Mr. Crouch, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, y'all. Y'all doing? Y'all all fired up this morning.
always. Krish, let you kick this one off. You're kind of responsible for him being here.
Yeah, good to see you, my boy. My first question for you is kind of, signing with Sioux City. Obviously, what are your goals for this year and what led you to sign with them?
It's all about, just getting back on the field again. Coach Logan been keeping in communication with me since, I don't know, he was like one of the first coaches to hit me up this year, like September. So, I'm gonna go with who's out there first. I'm just ready to play ball. That's all.
Makes perfect sense. So you mentioned they were the first team to reach out. When did you first start communicating with Coach Loban? You said like September?
Yeah, like September, October, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so they knew they wanted something else at quarterback very early in the process. I like that. Cody, do you have anything for Ed?
Going over to Sioux City, what we've talked whenever I've been on the show, you're going to be probably in a quarterback battle with Verlin Reed. How is that going to push you? How is that going to make you want to become QB1? How is that going to make the quarterback competition in Sioux City the best it can be?
Well, it's really going to push me because, he's a veteran as well. I'm a veteran, and it's all about what's best for the team. I really want to push the team. I don't see no competition when it comes to, competing and that. It's a great thing for me, though. I like battling with folks and, That's all it is. I like battling. I love competing for real, but that's not my main focus. Like competing at all. We just gonna hit the field and just play football, and whatever the outcome is, that's the outcome.
TJ, do you have anything?
What are you most excited about for this upcoming season, and where do you think it'll lead you to in the future of your career?
I'm really most excited with playing with the team that we got. Like the signees is amazing. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love the signees that we got. We got a lot of veterans on the team. We got a lot of standout guys, that also complement my game as well on the field. So what I'm looking for this season is really taking it far, like going to the big stage and just really building bond with the team and being who I am, bringing that energy, bringing that excitement to the game, and that's really what it is. When I'm on the field, I'm locked in, I'm ready. I'm trying to take it all the way this year. This is what it is, my 4th year, 5th year. So you know how that is.
Definitely. So you've been a lot of places, obviously. You've played in multiple different locations. You played for Washington. You won an MVP in the FCF. You've been all over, really. What did you see about Sioux City that was really attractive to you in terms of what they're able to provide to you as a player?
So going into this season with everything changing up with like Salina and Southwest going into the NAL, it's giving me like that CIF feeling, Like remember I was at Wichita. That was the first team I ever played for in the CIF. So it's giving me like that old CIF feeling, and it was real thrilling to play in the CIF. Like everybody was in the CIF, like. But this is what the NAL is feeling like, this old CIF right now, like with everything that's going on with transaction, with players, that there's a lot of old CIF players playing in NAL. So, and this is my first year playing in NAL. I mean, it's a new start for me. Like it's a new arena style. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a different feeling right now. I'm really piped up about this right now. Like I'm locked in. Like this for real this year.
Very nice. Coach B, do you have anything for Ed?
My boy.
What's up?
Ed, what's up?
What's good, Coach?
Nothing much, man. You know, me and Ed dialect all the time, man. He used to hit me all the time. He don't call me as much no more. He don't love Coach no more, man.
Man, Coach, you good with me. You already know.
I love the signing. You know, I love Lob. Me and Lob go back. He gonna treat you right out there. Strobe and them gonna treat you right out there. What is your biggest goal coming from? You know, you played in the OCIF, you played in IFL before. Coming from those leagues to the NAL, what is your goal and what mark do you want to leave on the NAL and Sioux City this season?
I want to bring Sioux City a championship. Like since I've been playing football, they always been there, like been close. It's just little pieces been missing. But I feel like I could fit in with them pieces that was missing and take it all the way to where they need to be. Because I ain't gonna lie, Sioux City always been a good foundation. They've been around for a minute. So they always been a good foundation. Just little pieces getting close towards the playoffs, then pieces fall off. But I'm 100% ready. I'm locked in. I'm working out. I'm feeling good, looking good. So man, this is gonna be a crazy season. 2026. It's gonna be crazy. I'm really excited.
I wanted to ask you, Ed.
Ask you.
You went to Washington with the Wolfpack. In my opinion, you had a very traumatic experience there. They did you so dirty. But talk to me about how you kind of battled that adversity. Playing in Washington last year.
Well, with football, you would never know what it'd be. But I came out there for opportunity, so I never could complain about the situation because that year I signed with San Antonio, but I was with them for 2 days. Coach gave me he really signed me because of my name. Like because I was supposed to be signed with him in 2021 when he was at Albany Empire, but I never got that message. Like, it was sitting in my DMs and on Twitter and like in a little hidden area. So he been reaching out, and his son Phil also been reaching out to me as well. So they gave me that opportunity. Then after that, well, before that, I was signed with ICT Regulator. That folded. Then I ended up signing with Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre, that ended up folding. So it's like, then I ended up signing with San Antonio, but it was already 4 quarterbacks there, but they signed me still, and now made me the 5th quarterback. So that situation wasn't a situation where I would have been playing regardless. It was just an opportunity that they gave me. Then end up going to Washington, and I can't complain about the situation. Like, that was like the only option that was good for me, like for me to be able to go on the field, because it was late in the season. Everybody was already done with fall count. Yeah. But Washington, Coach JR, I understand what he's trying to do with with the program and that, Everybody need help. Everybody needs somebody that's going to help them. Coach JR doing everything with everything. Play calling, head coaching. He's in the office with everything, doing stuff like that. So it's very stressful for him, and I can't knock what he's doing. I love the hustle that he got going with himself. So I can't knock that. But I mean, you know me, I haven't played with an old line for real. Like college, I never had an old line, so that wasn't no big deal. I'm always gonna make the best of every situation. I'm gonna play at my game, I'm gonna play at my level, and I'm gonna always make sure the team on the same time with me, and upbring the whole team and make sure everybody elevate their game, man. I feel like a lot of players elevated, like players I never heard of, got the opportunity, got the recognition in that.
For sure. And I feel like you have a really good receiver room, in Sioux City. Talk about it. You got Carlos Thompson, Fred Bruno. Like, talk about how excited you are to play with those guys.
No, I'm really excited about this. This one of the most craziest receiver room I ever been in, for real. If I think not, well, after the FCF, because we had Josh Gorin. I played with Josh Gorin. I played with Turpin. I played with Dramel. I played with T.O. was my receiver. I had Terrence Williams. He played for the Cowboys. Like, I could keep going down the list. Like, but this receiver room is gonna do it. This is gonna bring my game all the way to another level, and it's definitely we're gonna definitely break a lot of records and all that this year, because we got some boys. I ain't gonna lie. I looked at them, I'm like, what? We got some boys, and I don't speak on other teams. I don't do that. So, but I know what we got.
I see you already got QB1 as your title up there, so you solidifying the starting spot right now, huh?
Man, I'm QB1 wherever I go. I'm taking everything. That's how hard I work. Like, you can't deny me. Like, I put the time in, and my talent. Like, I'm just play ball. I'm from Miami Gardens. That's where we started from. So the hunger different than everybody else hunger. Like, this, like, my opportunity for the NFL, that shot down. So I'm here. I treat this like the NFL for me.
For sure. And Miami, you talk about some of the great quarterbacks, Raheem Cato, Teddy Bridgewater. Like, who were some quarterbacks you kind of looked up to coming up?
I don't know. Well, my favorite quarterbacks that I could say I looked up to is Trayvon Boykins. That was one of my favorite quarterbacks. I ain't gonna lie, Trayvon Boykins was that man. His game and my game was kind of similar. And Trayvon Boykins, that's about it. I really wasn't no fan of other quarterbacks because I don't know. I just never was like fans of other quarterbacks. Like, oh, look at another quarterback and be like, I always just stayed in my own lane. So, but nowadays, there's some good veterans in the game that I really look like. I like Drew Powell. Drew Powell, my boy. Man, he was at Orlando for a little while. And I told him his game, like I gave him his flowers. Like Drew Powell is that guy. I like Jorge that played for Tucson. His game, his arm talent is crazy. Like we was at San Antonio together, so Jorge, and I mean those are two quarterbacks that I really like right now in the arena game and the IFL, AFL, and yeah.
We have a comment in the question, or I mean, a question in the comments. Sorry. What are you looking forward to about living in Sioux City, and what will your accommodations look like?
What I'm looking for in Sioux City is I just want to bring that football energy back. I want everybody to be bought in with Sioux City. I want to bring that excitement back. Like, and I mean, it's in Iowa, but I've been in Kansas. I lived in Kansas for 6 years because I went to school out there. Then end up going to Wichita. So it's gonna be the same way I handle that situation. I mean, I'm in the Midwest. I just adjust.
Makes perfect sense. Thank you so much for joining us, Ed. Any final questions from anybody?
What was it like in Coffeyville?
Good luck this season.
Thank you, Coach B. Coffeyville. Ooh. Speaking of Coffeyville, Riley Ferguson is my favorite quarterback. That guy taught me everything. He came from Tennessee. He bounced back. Me and him battled, just me and him. He taught me the whole game. He the reason my arm talent is the way I read the field and my footwork and my mechanics. Like Riley Ferguson is like, I feel like he's the better himself. I think he was an unsigned free agent with the Tampa Bay Bucks, but Coffeyville, I mean, I was around guys like Chad Wilson, Jawan.
The Ville, baby, the top JUCO in the nation.
Yeah, we were number one that year too, but we lost to. Did we lose? I think we lost to Dodge, so that knocked us out. But we were number one in the whole country of JUCOs. That was a very exciting. That's what really got me the experience that I have on the football field, and not everything I'm doing. And I want to give a shout out to Coach Loman, Coach Scotty, Coach Irv, City. They've been keeping the communication well. And I'm looking forward to 6.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts for the fans or anything before you get out of here for the day?
Man, power to the fans.
Hey, who was your coach? Who was your coach at Coffeyville? Did you have Liker?
Nah, I had Coach Miranda. Coach Miranda was at
okay. Was Coach Rose still there? Coach Dickie Rose still there?
Running back coach. He hurt us in his backyard.
Hey, y'all don't know. I'm a Coffeyville alumni, so I'm one of the in the Hall of Fame and indoor in there. So when Ed said he Coffeyville, that just sparked me and lit my fire, man. Because the Ville was where it's at, man.
And the Ville was really where it's at. Like it was actually like a struggle being out there. How we were living. I mean,
yes. They don't understand that. We live like our dorms is the project, Sam.
Man,
like how New Orleans is, that's how the dorms is in Coffeyville.
Man, it was so strict, we had people sneaking in the windows over there, jumping gates. Come on, it was so strict, and it was very exciting, but it was a great opportunity, great time at Coffeyville. I mean, I wish I would have another year, but I couldn't going through that process, pushing changes. And, so I ended up going to Mac first after 1 year of JUCO. I still had 1 more year to do, so I was ineligible to go today. But I ended up going to Mac first, and a scholarship that I couldn't now. So
there you go. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Ed. Really appreciate you coming on this morning. Best of luck in 2026. I have a feeling Sioux City is going to be a whole new team this season. So super excited for this NAL year. I really think it's going to be competitive as can be.
Yes, sir. I'm fired up about it. Hey, y'all have a great morning. Nice talking to you, Cody, TJ, Coach B, Sam. Y'all have a great morning. All right.
Definitely. Thanks for coming.
All right. Oh, Chris, my bad too, Chris. Yeah, that's like, you know you're my boy, man. You gave my first interview when I got to Salina, so you know you're my boy.
There we go. Love it.
It's all love.
Awesome. Have a great rest of your day, man. Appreciate it.
Same.
All right, that was once again quarterback Ed Crouch with the Sioux City Bandits.
Ed Crouch, man, you know, the NAL not ready. I mean, his talent, his ability, it's something special, you know. So I suggest Coach McGraw in Omaha, go get a linebacker because you don't got a linebacker that can stop. So
they got Kyer buying him.
Yeah, but no, they don't have a linebacker that can stop Ed. Ed is different. So
we'll see. I like Bynum. I think he's a good player.
I like what you repping, that shirt you repping, Chris. That's a nice looking shirt right there.
At the beginning, excited for the season for sure.
So the only real signing or news I have from the NAL, and maybe you guys can add some to this, is the fact that Colorado signed Taj Alston. So Krish, I know you were the one that kind of was on that first. I mean, obviously Taj Alston, former CU alum, but what do you like about this signing for Colorado?
You know, Taj is a motor. You know, he gets on the edge so fast, and speed is so important in the NAL. Like, if you go back and watch the NAL last season, the amount of slow defensive lines that were in the NAL was crazy. And Colorado was one of them. Their D-line was skilled, but they were slow. And so Shaw, being a good coach, you know, he went out and Tony, especially being a good GM he went out and he upgraded. He got a fast D-lineman in Taj. And then they got Jordan Dominic, another great player, you know, from Colorado coming over, a Big 12 honorable mention guy. So I'm really excited. I love what they're doing defensively and how they're changing the identity of their football team altogether.
Absolutely. Taj Alston was a highly productive player in college. You know, bounced around in JUCO level before he ended up at Colorado and then finished out at Colorado, had a pretty solid season. Anybody else have any thoughts on this signing by the Spartans?
Not a signing, but I put it to you like this, and say this to Chris all the time. Only 8 players can play on the field. They signed all these big time players. They're gonna have to cut somebody. Somebody got to get cut. They can't all play at the same time, and they can't all keep them on the roster. So, see, it's gonna come down to roster management. See how Shaw manages that roster, and it's kind of hard. I say it again, for him, JR, all them, y'all got to get other coaches to help y'all out. Y'all can't be the only coach on the field doing it. Is that if you want to get over the top, you got to have a complete coaching staff. One coach is not just going to win a championship.
That's fair. And, you know, maybe that's part of the way that they're recruiting, you know, bringing in more veteran players to hopefully kind of lead the way. You know, I think last season, not to, you know, put anybody on blast or whatever, but Byron Cooper was kind of one of the big leaders on that defense and kind of leading the way, you know, for some of the play calling for defense. So I think that's kind of not necessarily the worst way in the world to operate. I do think you need some more coaches there, not going to lie, but there were people assisting him last year. I just don't know that they were formally, you know, announced or hired, you know, via like social media and stuff like that. Because obviously they had a guy step in and when he was suspended.
And I think, look, man, like, you know, go look at that team now compared to last year. Like, they have definitely upgraded some positions. And I mean, did we talk about Dallas Reigns signing with them?
No, we didn't.
That's huge.
I ain't gonna lie, but you talk about how slow they was, Chris. I think they had the best D line in the NAL last year, stat wise.
No, Beaumont.
Beaumont
they had a killer D, but top 10. I mean, the top in the league. Colorado had 2 defensive linemen top in the league in sacks.
True, but you know,
Beaumont didn't have 2. Colorado, the only one that had 2 players on the top of the list for sacks. Right, so you can't tell me that they wasn't doing anything right.
I'm saying they're upgrading. They're looking for speed at certain positions. But my point is, like, Dallas Reigns, right? So we talk about that sign. We talk about a lineman who's tenured in the IFL, who's played great football. He was good in the IFL with Tucson. He was good. He was a little inconsistent after he got hurt, but he was good. He's going to come to the NAL, and he's going to dominate that league. And I really feel like this team and this identity, this Spartan team, doesn't get enough credit. And I think they're going to be really special. they're a championship contender for me. Another move I did want to talk about though and get your thoughts on is Jordan Barton signing back with Omaha. How do you all feel about that?
I think it's a little bit of a surprise, especially this late in the process. I would have expected him to have signed somewhere else by now. And given some of his comments in the past, I was a little bit surprised that he returned to Omaha, but I'm glad to see it. I think Jordan understands what he has there.
I think it was a desperate move because they lost Flowers, so they needed to sign a wide receiver, and they went with what works, what's comfortable. He's been there, he knows the system, but I do think he should have went somewhere else. The way, like you said, the comments he said earlier in the season, I would have thought he wasn't going to return to Omaha as well.
Yeah, it is one of those things. It's kind of surprising, but not entirely. Not entirely. I don't think he left Omaha in bad blood. He just, I think he was hoping that he was going to get an opportunity to be like the guy somewhere else. But everyone you sign still has to show up. It happens every year that players don't show up for whatever reason. How many coaches is needed? I would say ideally you probably have 3. Probably
3 to 4.
Yeah, 3 to 4, somewhere in that range. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Somebody that kind of does a little bit of everything, and then the head coach.
You need a line coach. You always got to have a line coach. You can't just throw anybody in there on the line. Well.
Sacks are not always determined by your ability, but by the inability of the opponent. That is 100% accurate. And Brian, you're a Beaumont fan, so I'm sure you can agree that they had one of the top defensive lines last year. I will say one thing that I really like about the way the Spartans are building their team is they're bringing in players with local ties. We can say whatever we want about the Paxton Lynch signing and how he's going to play, but that created a lot of buzz in Colorado. Every Colorado beat reporter that covers the Broncos was talking about the Spartans for over a week. That does not happen. Those guys don't even know that the Spartans exist typically, outside of a guy like Cecil Lammey, who's a nut and will watch all the alternative leagues. So that was huge. Then you also bring in Devontae Jackson, the running back that's got ties to the Broncos. You bring in Taj Alston, who's from CU. You bring in Dallas Raines, who lived in Elizabeth, Colorado for quite a while. It makes sense. You bring in guys with ties to the state. You hopefully have them as another draw for people to come to the games. So I hope that this translates to better attendance for the Spartans this season. That's what I want to see.
I hope it does too. And having a veteran offensive line. Does anyone want to talk about how much that's going to help Paxton Lynch when he's adjusting to the game to have veterans protecting him and that receiving core? I mean, I can talk all day about that receiving core. Like, yeah, Jordan Barton going to Omaha. I'm excited about that. Obviously Jordan Barton, I've seen the comments too, right? But Jordan Barton won't get treated as nearly anywhere as well as he does in Omaha. He's treated really well there. And I think he's realized that, like, anywhere I go, I'm going to be just another guy. So he's in Omaha. I'm happy he's back. Him and DeGrom have a relationship. He's more of a deep threat for sure. So the quarterback has to be able to throw the ball over 35 yards, which he had issues with in his career. But if he can do that, then they'll do well. So I'm excited for Jordan Barton. I think their receiving core is good. Jordan Barton, Demian Concliffe, Cordell Comus, Joshua Neal, right? But that's a nice receiving core. But that's not Colorado's. Colorado has the best core in the country, one of the best cores in the country. If we took every league, they're top 10. Bissett, Alexis, and Steven Newbold are proven guys. Proven. So they're all great. They have the best core in the league, and I'll stand by that. And I think it's going to really help them in the long run. So.
They definitely a championship contender. I can say that. And I've always said, I said it before the season started. I think they was my pick over Omaha. But I still think you could be a championship contender, but as the season go along and you wear down, without extra coaches, it's going to hurt him like it hurt him in the long run last year.
I like this comment, and it is very apt right now. Unfortunately, Eagles are butt cheeks. They are right now. It's pretty disappointing. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, Sam, go Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm not going that far. Trust me. I will quit watching the NFL before
I don't even know what the Cowboys are.
But
hey, chill out,
that's
TJ.
for another day. So I think that's really all I had for the NAL. Anything else anybody wanted to talk about before we move on?
How's Southwest?
If you
Southwest
guys,
not
if somebody players, if players looking for teams, if players looking for a team, come on out January 3rd. Dallas Bulls having a tryout in Dallas, Texas, 3:30 to 6:30. We'll put up the flyer here later on. But if you're looking for a team, come on out.
I love it. If you're watching right now, comment your
Butt
NFL team.
cheeks
I'm
times
curious.
two. Hey,
Yeah.
Cowboys is America's team, fellas.
Also, speaking of which, there were a couple of things that we did not touch on, and this is just real briefly. There are some tryouts coming up for the IFL. There's this tryout for the Vegas, primarily run by the Vegas Nighthawks, but the Blizzard are going to be in attendance. The Fisher Freight are going to be in attendance. I actually think the Omaha Beef will be there. I also think Coach Davis said there were going to be some CFL teams in attendance.
Yeah, there'll be 2 CFL teams, and the Omaha Beef will be in there. They'll be looking for a linebacker and 1 more quarterback at the time.
And to my knowledge, he pretty much has an open invitation to other coaches from other teams. So there may be a lot more teams that end up showing up the day of, just depending on how things go. Cody, there were some other IFL tryouts coming up. I apparently missed the graphics. I pulled up the Chupacabras one. There, Naz has one coming up, correct?
Yeah, they've got one coming up. It's all the way in March, so you got some time to prepare for it. But I believe it is March 1st, which it's 2 weeks before the season kicks off. So they're going to be doing a tryout and then going pretty much right into like training camp. So
that's not a bad way to get a tryout done. And honestly, maybe that's the best time as a player to go if you're not signed at the moment.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not a bad thing. So,
were there any other teams that I missed?
No, I think that was it for right now. I know the Indoor Football League either last night or this morning posted a graphic of like the teams and the layouts, and it's everything that we've already covered. Naz, New Mexico, and then the 3-teamer up in Michigan.
I think Tucson will be at the Michigan one too. So my guy Kaiser, he needs to find some more guys. They don't have a lot, so he needs to go and really sign guys. I want to make something clear. This tryout they're having, there will be high-level players there. It won't be your normal tryout. So, like, if I was a player, I would want to go to Michigan because I feel like you'll be competing against the best, of the best. So,
yeah, but then you have to be in Michigan
to win the Super Bowl. Good luck.
Or you can come down to Texas where it's warm at, and you're gonna have competition as well.
No, you're not. They're not going to be.
Oh, come on, Krish.
I'm sorry.
What up, Derek Duncan? What up, Derek? You got to realize, Chris, you talk a lot, but you don't do a lot of information. What state got more football players than Texas? So it don't matter what it is. Competition is going to be up there. You got to think about. You got to think about that. That's just like if California threw a tryout, you're going to get some of the best competition out there. Florida threw the tryout. Oklahoma, those are football states. So when you got a football state, no matter what, your least talented guy is gonna be better than some of these teams' most talented guys in these states. So you got to think about that.
I know, but like Mike Davis is throwing a tryout. Like Mike Davis.
It don't matter. It don't matter who you is. I've seen tryouts in Texas from no-name coaches for the Odessa teams and teams like that had over 100 people come out.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, 5 IFL teams with Mike Davis and the connections he has and everything. Like, go to Michigan.
Look, can we all agree that most of these tryouts are great opportunities, right? Obviously make sure which teams are attending, to make sure that they're actually legit tryouts. But I mean, realistically, all these tryouts we're talking about have legit teams in attendance, and you have an opportunity to be signed. So whether you want to go to Dallas or you want to go to Michigan or you want to go to, Northern Arizona or wherever else there are tryouts going on, just do a little bit of research. Make sure teams are actually going to be there. If they are, or those people running that have connections to the teams, then it's probably worth your while if you're not signed.
Not even that.
Tryouts are not for everyone, though.
If you're not signed, you need to be going to a tryout. I see a lot of these posts, and I want to clear the air on this. This is just my opinion. This ain't for everybody else. If you're a player, you're gonna have to pay for a tryout every now and then. It's called investing in your craft. If you can't invest in your craft, then you don't feel you're gonna do something right in the league. players, you have to invest. Nobody else going to invest in you but you. So paying for a tryout is not no team getting over. That's you going out showing your talent in front of somebody who never got a chance to get to see you, so you can prove your work. So it's nothing wrong with investing in your craft, because if you feel like you got it, invest in yourself. No matter what tryout you go to, just go to a tryout and get yourself in front of coaches.
Oh, my bad. I did have the NAS graphic. All right, there we go. So there's the NAS graphic for their tryout. And I apologize, Coach, if I had grabbed the Dallas graphic, I totally would pull that up.
Oh no, you good. I'm just telling, because I see a lot of players talk, and a lot of arena players telling other players, don't go to no tryouts, don't pay for no tryouts. That's totally wrong. You got to pay to get. If you go, you're gonna pay to go to an NFL tryout, so you're gonna pay this anywhere else. Invest in your craft.
And I know Sam will be watching the Vegas tryout. You know, his gold jacket Hall of Famer, Justin Arth, will be there. So I know you're excited for that.
Yeah. Yep. Thoroughly excited. I will be at the edge of my seat watching. No, I actually will be, for the record. Krish is right. There's going to be a lot of talented players at all of these different tryouts. But I think that one, with the sheer volume of teams being involved, I think is going to draw some.
You should hit up Coach Thomas as a fan, you know, because that O line is looking kind of rough. So maybe you can find some O linemen at the tryout.
Maybe, maybe I'll go check it out. I don't know. All right, we'll go ahead and hit a quick commercial break. We'll come back with some AF1 news. I apologize, and then we will finish up with some AIF news and some little bit of TAL as well. But yeah, we're getting close to the end here, so stick with us for a little bit longer.
Three, four times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket. All right, we are back to talk about some AF1 news. There's been quite a bit this week. First big news coming out of the AF1 was the signing of Tyreek Stewart by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Always love to see players get moved up. TJ, what are your thoughts on Tyreek Stewart being moved up to the Blue Bombers?
I mean, it's a great story. A great player, working hard, and he gets the call up. Contrary to certain things that have been going around the last week or so, you can move up from indoor and arena football if you have the dedication, the skill, and just the overall determination to get to that point. And, just congratulations to him. And again, another nod to indoor and arena football, giving guys that might not have gotten a chance in the CFL or UFL or NFL an opportunity.
Absolutely. Anybody saying you can't move up from indoor football is not paying attention. There are literally
players that move up every year. Obviously, some teams have more success doing it than others, but at the same time, at the end of the day, the way I would tell any player to approach indoor football, overseas football, it doesn't matter. Wherever you're playing, approach it like your NFL. Play where you want to be, not where you're at, right? So if you want to be in the NFL, play like it's your NFL. Put on film what you want the NFL teams to see. Otherwise, it's going to show up in your game. So, don't shortchange yourself by half-assing any opportunity for that matter.
Coaches
Don't-
can
don't
always
send
tell
out-
if you're not giving 100%. Coaches can always tell if you're just there waiting for a better opportunity, but not willing to put in the work. And if you mess around too much at whatever level you're at, you might get cut from that level. And then where are you going to go? So always, just like in life in general, always give it 100% and keep trucking, because if you want to get somewhere where you want to be, you got to put in that time, work, and all that effort.
Absolutely.
Also, don't send no blurry film, because we don't have time to decipher through all the blurry film. And when you hit up a coach, fellas, we are not your homeboy. What's up, bro? Or none of that. Hey, coach, how you doing? I'm trying to be a part of your organization. That's how you hit up a coach. Don't hit him up like, hey, bro, what's good? You need to sign me. I don't have to sign you.
Speaking
Shout
of
out Coach Davis. He got his boy Desmond Bland signed with Toronto. I'm really happy for Desmond, because Desmond gets to play with my boy Brandon Kemp up there, one of our linemen. So, just excited for that potential mentorship and everything. But no, with Tariq, I'm happy for Tariq. Tariq played with Columbus this past year, so don't let Washington take any credit for it. J.R. Wells probably didn't even know the CFO existed till Tariq signed with them. But for me, being active and staying active and playing professional football is a really good thing for the prospects. There's guys who sit at home and think that they're going to get signed by sitting on the couch at home, and that's just it's not reality. I'm going to use an example, right? Like someone that you look up to, Chris Barrett, right? FCF legend, right? Chris Barrett thinks he's going to sign with the UFL tomorrow. That's just not going to happen. So you need to be active. You need to put in the work and put in the time. And so I think Tariq is going to do really well. And he's, former Patriot minicamp guy. So looking forward to seeing how he does.
Yeah, 100% has already been at the NFL level and stuff. So he definitely was deserving of the opportunity. I love how you worded that, Krish. Yeah, super look up Chris Barrett, just because I happen to acknowledge that he was good in the FCF and played well in other places. It's okay, Krish. I know you think you know everything. It's all right, we get it. Ron Sosa, however, on another note, has left Duluth. Let's go to Cody on this one. Are you surprised that so many players have left Duluth since the move over to the AF1?
Kind of, not really. I mean, I don't really know what's going on from the stuff that I've kind of researched. It's a little eyebrow raising in a sense. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not going to speculate or get into some of the things, but it's very curious to go from where they were at last season and what the TAL to now over here. Man, we'll see when the ball's kicked off. That's pretty much all I've got with it, man. I'm not going to speculate or be like, this team's bad or the behind the scenes stuff is bad, or like, we'll see what happens when the ball's kicked off, the season's complete, and what happens anytime after that.
Absolutely. That's a fair point. Krish, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Ron Sosa is one of Ben McCoy's guys, so loyalty. I don't want to use the word career suicide, but this is kind of as close as it gets to that. I mean, Sosa was treated like a god in Minnesota, and he decided to leave. It's a mistake, in my opinion. I think he should have stayed. For me, I feel like when you're respected somewhere and you're treated well and you get sponsored and you get everything you want, why do you want to leave unless it's a higher level league? I'm going to be honest, he already tried the NAL. He had the horrible Louisiana experience when he went down there, and we don't even need to get into that, what happened when he went down there. He went to Vegas with Coach Davis. He got released from there. He's already went to Corpus Christi. right? So he's been everywhere. Why not stay where you're at in Minnesota and just build something long term?
I don't know. I'm not sure what his thought process on that was, but
I think it's terrible advice. Who have terrible advice, poor decision, and I wish he would have stayed.
All right. Well, on that note, Krish will get to ask him about his opinion in a week or two when he joins us on the show. He will be a guest, I believe, on the 27th.
Yeah, I'm excited to have him on. I'm sure he has his thoughts.
Obviously, we want to get his thoughts. We want his insight on why he decided to make the decision. At the end of the day, Krish can have his opinions. We can all have our opinions on what a guy does, but none of us can determine what's best for his situation. So, I mean,
we don't know what it was up there for him. Yeah, we don't know what he was going through up there. Any situation he might have had, just because he left don't mean it's bad. It's a bad decision. It may be in your eyes, but in his eyes, it might be the perfect decision for his mental health. Anything, you never know.
We also don't know what may come of it now. Now that he's a free agent, or now that he's announced.
I've heard he already signed with a team that we just had on here already in IFL today.
Well, maybe we'll find out next week. We'll find out.
What a lot of money though? Think about it. And I know, for me, if you're about the money, man, go get your money. Go get paid. If you're getting paid something, and then you're going to New Mexico, where you might not. Let's say New Mexico, right, where you're not making it much. Is that really worth it? They're not going to be good. So I don't know. But I see my boy AJ.
How you know what they paying in New Mexico?
I'm not even gonna answer that. I see my boy AJ in the chat, man. You're not ready for Columbus's defense, man. You never faced a defense that good. I think Columbus will run a train on New Jersey, and I'll be there live in person to watch it. So I'm excited.
Man, the wording sometimes, I swear. But anyway, obviously the big news that came out of the AF1 this past week that we are going to spend a lot more time on. I kind of wanted to gloss over the other things real quick before we got to this one, but is the schedule. Obviously, they released their schedule this past week. A lot of TBD on there. I'm not trying to point out anything or make any accusations, but that is kind of interesting. Obviously, it's still December, so we got time. But let's run through this. I mean, what are some games that stuck out to you guys? The one thing that
stuck out to me is Washington and Oregon playing 4 times. Why?
Yeah, that's fair. And honestly, I'm looking now and realizing that the AF1 schedule on the website is not complete, or at least it's faulty.
Yeah, it says the same team playing 2 times on each week, doesn't it? I thought I was tripping on that.
No, well, yeah, here at the top it says week 1 has 3 games, and then it says week 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, and then starts over. 1, 2, 3. But anyway, one of the things that really stuck out to me was the gauntlet that the Monsters kind of have at the beginning of the season. They start with Albany. They have to play, I think, Kentucky somewhere in there, if I remember correctly. They also are going to be playing Michigan, which I think is going to be a solid team. And then they have, a couple other games that are going to be interesting.
Sam, their first 4 games is on the road. So I think that's pretty tough for them to be a new franchise to start your first 4 games on the road.
AJ says noted, Krish. I think he is prepared for that defense. You might be surprised, but we'll see. If you guys are watching right now, make sure to hit the like button wherever you're watching. It helps share this out to new viewers who have not seen it yet. Washington and Oregon, we haven't had enough of a give us even more. So with them playing 4 times this year, if my math is correct, that would be 9 or 10 times they've played since 2024.
That's way too much.
If you count the Black Bears. Sorry.
Throw out the record books.
Yeah, max of 3 times the season. Max of 3.
TJ, I would think, why didn't if they didn't have Oregon play Washington twice, Beaumont twice, Oceanside twice, and then fill in the rest of the games? But you don't get, man, it just make the league look a little crazy when you play one team 4 times and you got a 9-man league.
What's insane though is if you look at Oregon and Washington's schedule, they each only play Oceanside once and they brought in that West Coast team to help out with travel. Oregon only plays Oceanside once, and it is the next to last week of the season, the penultimate week. And then Washington only plays Oceanside in week 10. That's it. So Oceanside is they're not traveling north to play those teams. Instead, they're like, we're going to play them 4 times. It's a gripe I've had with I don't know. It's a gripe I've had with every single indoor and arena schedule ever. I know travel is the name of the game. I know arena dates and stuff like that, fine. But the fact that you made a team in Oceanside to compete with the San Diego Strike Force, and they're only playing Oregon once. They're only playing Washington once.
Right.
That
It don't make sense.
It does not make any sense.
I think they should have had them at least play each other twice and make it so much of a Western division. And
Yes.
then you travel and play 9 opponents closer to you. It don't make sense for Oregon to go all the way to Albany when they can play somewhere like Minnesota, Michigan, Kentucky, and it'd be feasible on travel for them.
Minnesota only plays Albany once, and they play Michigan 3 times.
I'm going to pull up a different view.
I don't get it.
This is a little bit better view than what we had on the website. So.
I love the AF1, but I think whoever made the schedule did make it feasible for certain teams or for the league. It only favors certain teams. I honestly think that.
Beaumont's schedule is crazy.
I obviously we don't know all the factors that caused the decisions that we have here, but it is odd to see that, Oceanside isn't playing Washington and Oregon more, like you guys said, that's the whole reason you bring in another West Coast team is to give them some travel. And not to mention, Oceanside's a brand new team, and you're going to have them travel all over the country. Like that's kind of crazy. But I don't want to necessarily focus on the negatives. So let's look at some of the big games, some of the games you guys are excited to watch.
Nashville versus Michigan, week 2. I think that's going to be a big one.
Cody, any games you're excited about?
Oh, I'll one up Coach B. I think week 1, Michigan versus Kentucky.
Ooh, okay. What about Albany versus Minnesota week 1? You get to see all that Minnesota put together going against the league best. So if you think you're the best, you get to go against the league best now.
Yeah, I mean that's a very, very good one.
TJ, what games did you kind of which one stuck out to you? Here's the back half of the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking how great the week 1 matchup with Minnesota and Albany still is overall, but just how epic it would have been if.
What about TJ? What about the Battle of the Champions?
Like 2 to 3 months.
NAL champion versus AF1 champion, week 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Albany.
There's a lot of, with them bringing in so many teams, there's a lot of great matchups this season with, former champions and things like that. But just how great the matchup could have been week 1 if Minnesota hadn't kind of, I'm not saying gone off the rails, but done a lot of their changes in the past 2 months. That would have been like must-see TV right out of the gate.
Yeah, Albany gets the 2 defending champions from the previous leagues in Minnesota and Beaumont the first 2 weeks. So
I will say one thing, though. A lot of people, stuff to say about Minnesota, and I've been very critical of them. But that roster, man, like some of the guys Coach Speedy bring in, like they're good. Their D-line is nice. Their O-line is nice. Like they got some ball players, and their DB room is good. Like I think those, flag football league guys would have got killed if they played AF1 style. So I'm glad that he's out there bringing in arena vets. Like he knows this game. Now that being said, it's a really tough schedule. So Coach B, I know you're kind of hiding now because you don't want to admit this, but how many wins do you guys think Minnesota is going to have in 2026?
Me and you talked about this yesterday when the schedule came out. I got them going 5-7, and I'm just being realistic.
Interesting. Not to change subjects too much, but I wanted to bring this up that something that we had reported on a while ago, that the AF1 would be kicking off in April. This, obviously, the schedule has now confirmed that April 10th is the kickoff date, which I think is a little over a month later than it was last season. So how do you guys think that affects the AF1 overall? Do you think that helps them, hurts them? TJ, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't really think it makes too much of a difference. I mean, I think back in the day, that was the primary start time was around April for well, I'll say all arena leagues, but back then it was only like 2 or 3 total. But yeah, I don't think it makes too big of a difference. I know they were talking about wanting to push it back a little bit just for players and just different behind the scenes things. So maybe that's why they did it. But yeah, I don't really see a big difference in it being pushed back to April.
I think it helps. I think it helps, especially a team like Michigan. Sniper Sean Lyota and his child. They sit back and what they do is this is their recruiting strategy, right? They go on the NAL website and they just scroll and they pick out the guys they want. So out of 15 guys they have signed, 8 of them are from other teams' rosters, like this year that were previously signed with the NAL or IFL. So that's their recruiting strategy, right? So I think it's good for him, and I think they'll be able to snipe more guys and steal more guys. And, I think they're going to come from more Omaha players, come from more Tucson players. I think now he's dipping in some Tulsa. He stole 2 of Tulsa's players. So it's good for a team like that, for sure.
I mean, you're not wrong. That is part of the advantage of starting later is that, you can kind of sit back and watch, okay, say Salina hasn't started off like they had expected, and they've lost 3 of their first 4 games. All of a sudden those players might be a little bit easier to poach for some of these AF1 teams that are looking for a little bit of an improvement at some positions or something like that. So I think there's a little bit of an advantage for the AF1 there, especially for like Krish said, for the teams that are looking to poach players. Definitely an advantage. You can let that player go get paid for a month and then come play for you if you're confident in
and
him.
They all do that. Like in the AF1, there's no level of let's not snipe. Like they've all committed.
Nope. No,
I don't think it's snipe. Because when I was there, you just sit back and if it's a player you want, you go get him, and you give him the choice to decide whether he's gonna play for your organization or another one. You just leave it in their hands. So
yeah, without a doubt. And I don't want to say this is necessarily blame on any team, but there is a certain level of respect. If if that guy's signed to another team, you can avoid offering him.
you can't. But what I would do, I would reach out to the coach and just let him know, hey, I'm interested in your player. So I'm gonna give him that much courtesy and respect to the coach to let him know that. But my obligation is to my organization. So whatever is best for my organization, even if he is signed with another team, I'm gonna go get him if it helps out my organization.
Fair point.
For me, and I don't want to make this come out and sound wrong, but it'll probably sound wrong. So I don't really care. But, July Flowers is someone I have a lot of respect for. I was high on July when he was in Carolina. July has been signed with Omaha for 5 months and decides on a random December afternoon, oh, yeah, no, I'm good. After he flew out, he posted everything, the standard, everything. He's lighting up his feed with Omaha posts, and then he decides to leave. Like waiting that long to leave is kind of dicey, and it's horrible. It's a horrible breakup. It's just bad time, terrible timing. There's no nicer way I can say it. And so I think players need to realize when you are signed with a team for a month, even like 4 weeks for me, like you're committed. What other job can you just up and leave after, for being committed for a month? You just can't, that's not like possible.
You can leave any job as long as you put in a 2 weeks notice. It don't matter when it is.
You don't even need to put in a 2-week notice. Not exactly proud of it, but I quit a job on my lunch break one time. I just never went back.
But Sam, you got to be respectful, because what if you want to get rehired there again? You put in that 2 weeks notice to leave on good terms.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Trust me, I did not want to get rehired by the place that I left on lunch break.
But you guys operate differently. Like it's a different level of respect. So
but just to piggyback on what you said, Chris, what if Flowers did take that visit out there? He didn't like what he seen from the organization and made him want to go to a different.
It's so nice up in Omaha. Like I'm not just saying that. I've seen pictures. It's the nice place. You got
it is a nice place, but you do got to realize Omaha is a high gang activity area too.
There's gangs in Nebraska.
Omaha is actually one of the more areas with high rate crime actually in Nebraska. So it could be a different factor, but what he might like is not what he see in Omaha. Other players might not see. People come from different environments. They might not like that. So you
There's
can't
3
knock it.
cities in Nebraska.
There's what?
See?
There's only 3 cities in Nebraska.
Oh yeah, good point. So okay, we're gonna shift gears real quick. I know TJ has to jump off here pretty quick.
Can I
but we
show a
had-
photo though of Oceanside? I got multiple people actually. I got this great photo I wanted to get you guys' reaction on. It's of the new Oceanside field. Can you see that on the screen? I just put it up.
Oh my God, what field? That's new.
I don't.
That can't be new, Chris.
Krish, put it in an overlay. Don't put it on the background. Sorry about that. I kicked TJ out. So we had a fan submission for questions while Krish tries to figure this out earlier this week. Now that the AF1 schedule is out, what cities would you like to see joining the league in 2027? And I wanted to give this to TJ before he gets out of here.
Hey man, I was a long time Philly Soul fan, so I mean, if they could come back, that'd be awesome.
That would be great for sure. Let's see what Krish can do.
Either them or maybe like another like old school throwback kind of team just for nostalgia, something like that.
St. Louis
Okay.
need a team. St. Louis is brewing for a team. And bring back San Jose.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can get this pulled up. There you go. So
this
that
is a photo on the turf from Oceanside. I just wanted to get you guys' reaction on the new beautiful turf.
I thought they had to have the square turf.
That is not new turf. That is old turf, and it looked like it's been around for a while.
100%.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. But,
Where did they get that from, Chris? You know whose turf that is?
I've heard a couple different things. I want to wait and confirm. That's something that I want to do more research into before confirming something like that. But the turf is maybe not the best. You hope they can put a team together. It's kind of like the turf is it's at least it's not as rough as the team on the field. So at least it's not as rough as Rudy Johnson.
We haven't even seen the team on the field. How can you say
Rudy
that?
Johnson is going to get murdered in the AF1.
Hasn't played a single down yet.
Alive, honestly.
Yeah. You crack me up with some of the stuff you say, man. Literally haven't seen the team together even once, and they're terrible on the field.
I can get that assessment.
All right, so to transition back to
Pirates,
the
though.
Oh yeah, no, we got. Come on, man. Yeah, this is great. I agree with you, Ricky.
Yeah. All right, TJ. What were you saying about teams you want to see in the AF1? You said Philly Soul and who else?
Just like any kind of maybe like nostalgic or throwback team, kind of like them, kind of like the AF1 bringing back the Nashville Cats branding and stuff. Like bring back maybe like a Utah Blaze team or something like that. That'd be cool.
Awesome. Well, TJ, I know you need to get out of here.
Need a team.
Any final thoughts for anybody before you get out of here?
I agree with TJ.
Everyone have a great
does need a
week.
team.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Just everybody have a great weekend, and hopefully I see you guys next week.
Awesome. And for the record, go check out HoneyStinger, which is TJ's sponsor. The link is in the chat. And make sure you support your favorite content creators here on Shady Sports. Have a good weekend, TJ. Thanks for joining us this morning. Awesome. So we're going to roll through some comments real quick. There's a lot of comments on the schedule. There's a comment by CJ. So we're going to back up here. I could complain that Beaumont is playing Oceanside 3 times, and then we have 6 weeks of no home games, or that we are not even playing Michigan, but I'm excited that we are having a season. Mike Davis, Albany with bye weeks. 2 of the last 3 weeks seems like they got a plug to be healthy for the playoffs. That is a little suspicious. I think they had something similar last year where they had like a bye week late before the end of the playoffs. So
we'll see. Kevin Guy special.
Yep, exactly. Just a little bit of home cooking there. AF1 always started in April. That is not correct. Last year they started very early in March. Go back and look, I assure you. Week 2 in Beaumont will be my game of the season. NAL champs against AF1 champs. That's going to be interesting. Oregon finishes the season 4 games on the road with 2 byes. Agreed, Texas Pete. So I wanted to bring up this point you brought up, actually, Cody. Oregon finishes the season 4 games on the road with 2 byes. That sounds like a little bit of a rough time because especially financially. And like, I don't want to harp on the financial situation of Oregon. I want Chuck Jones to succeed. I want everybody in the AF1. I want all these teams to start and finish the season. Every league, for the record. But that is a tough stretch. You're not going to have any ticket revenue coming in. I don't even know if they get a net positive on their games, but that's just something to think about there at the end of the year. Agreed, Texas Pete. Oregon should have all away games. Their field is terrible. That's one thought. Washington and Oregon only have 5 home games and 7 away. That is a good point, and I wonder what factors into that personally. What do you all think Kentucky Barrel's record will be?
9-3, man. Kentucky's
Sam,
amazing. Kentucky's a really good team. I've been, and I know this is an excellent player for Kentucky. He's a fullback for them. So I'm excited for you guys, man. I've been talking highly about you. Defense is insane. Kentucky will be a good team. They'll go 9-3 this year. I'm excited.
How quick are they from the team? I think this was regarding the Jarve Flowers situation. Look at Albany's last 3 games. I say it's the playoffs before the playoffs. Is he getting paid now? As in Jarve Flowers? No, he was not. This is the offseason. Guys don't typically start getting played until the games are played. Most players and coaches don't value contracts. If you sign an official contract with the team, you should stand by it 100%.
Preach.
Yeah, exactly. That would be one thing that I would love to see change between these leagues. It's a little bit less movement between leagues unless it's warranted. Like a guy gets cut by one team, he signs in another league. High crime in Nebraska. No. Ricky Birch, shut the hell up, B. That's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. A player doesn't come here to Omaha because of games.
It is up there.
I
don't think we said that. I don't think we said that. We said any reason why he left.
North Omaha, where the meatpacking plants are,
whenever they want to.
They go for the zoo. Duh. Southern Louisiana, Washington, and Oregon are pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot if one of the 2 teams sucks. You have a good point. He left for an opportunity he felt was better for him. Nothing else. No bad bloods towards Omaha. No hate towards any side, but that's a wild statement, Coach B. LOL, Texas Pete. Anywhere Louisiana or Southeast Texas for markets they want to see. Please remember to hit the like button. Holy cow, this is off subject, but if we're trying to move guys up from IFL to CFL, why don't they have an all-star game? That's a good point. Would be interesting. What about the Ruggiero turf? It looks suspiciously like the Beaumont's mangy turf from last season. Atlanta City Blackjacks. Somebody would like to see them come back. Anyone close to close markets to generate more rivalries? Typo, AFL. Okay, you're right. AFL did start in April. Exactly, CJ. And did we suspend him and prevent him from playing elsewhere? No, we released him. What's your all opinions on what AF1 will do streaming wise? We will come back to that here shortly. Let us know your thoughts in the chat on any of these subjects we've talked about today. People may think it was just a throwaway comment, but Google the gang activity in Omaha. It's a real thing. Okay. I've never been to Omaha, so I have no idea.
I've been there. My family lived there longer than anybody who been there, so I know it's a bad area. It's just as bad as Kansas City, and I don't say Kansas City is all that good, but you still can have arena teams there. It's still a bad area.
So no, and I don't want to keep talking about this, but I need to get this off my chest. So it's so crazy. So look, the theory is Jarve went up there for a tryout they had and decided one day, oh, I'm gonna take a look outside and saw the gang activity, bro. He not in like a third world country. He went up there to watch a tryout and got treated like a god. Do not let me tell you the details of his trip. He was treated so well, like they treat all their players well. So that's not why he left. That's just an excuse for him. And you said he was going to win MVP of the NAL, too. That's what you said. Another crazy take by you. And I have that on video. So.
All right. Well, it is what it is. I mean, like I said, I've never been to Omaha. I'm just surprised to hear there's gangs in Omaha.
Jarvey is a great player.
He is.
He gets to decide where he want to play. He gets to decide where he want to play. I don't care what league he is. I think he's
a great, and no one is saying he's not a great player.
Yeah.
He said this is the last year of him playing arena, so it's the last year of his career before retirement, and he wants to go out and play with Malik Henry. And I love Malik to death, so I get it. I feel it.
Yeah. Michigan also ends with 2 bye weeks the last 3 weeks of the season. Good for them. They'll be nice and healthy right for the playoffs as well. Minnesota Monsters run the indoor football world. Come on. Nice of you to show up, Luke. We really appreciate you tuning in live, sir. Thank you. Yeah, man, that was a lot of comments. Keep them coming.
Did
guys.
anybody see? Did it say Beaumont has 6 road games the last 6 weeks of the season?
Oregon.
No, not 6 road games.
Oh,
they had 6 weeks without a home game, but some of those I think are bye weeks. So I want to say they have a
that's gonna be rough on them too.
100%.
You don't think that's gonna be rough on them? Like you don't get no home games, you don't get
tough.
no money activity going on for 6 weeks. Wow.
Well, that's how Minnesota is. Minnesota starts their season with 4 road games with 2 byes in between there. You're not generating any revenue to start the season. And if you're 0-4, who's coming out to that game in what, week 7? So you've got to win those games.
You have a good point. All right, I want to circle back to this. What do we think the AF1 will do streaming-wise? Do you guys expect to see Vice TV back? And obviously we know Evergreen probably will not be back to this point. What are your guys' thoughts?
Did Evergreen fold?
Go for it, Coach.
Yeah, didn't Evergreen fold?
I think so. I think they're trying to sell it, but I haven't heard if it's changed hands or anything of that sort yet.
Vice TV, I wasn't too fond of last year, but if you guys like it, I don't know. I think, like Cody said, they IFL set the bar high. They're going to have to come with a big broadcasting or a streaming partner to top that.
It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be Yahoo. It doesn't have to be FanDuel. It doesn't have to be CBS Sports. It just has to be something consistent. Simple as that. You can put them on YouTube. You can put them on a different streamer. You can do something like that. You just have to make it consistent. Simple as that. The bar's set. You don't have to reach those heights, but you have to at least put a bar there to sit there and be like, hey, and I'm not trying to talk down, but it's like, hey, we got this in the Indoor Football League. We are right here. We can move up, but you got to make it consistent.
So I wanted to address this comment. Man, I just hopped in here. There's gangs everywhere. That's a wild statement. I was mainly kidding. You know, it's just Nebraska. My experiences with Nebraska are a bunch of cornfields where there's absolutely no people. I've never been to Omaha, though. That's the thing.
When I was in Grand Island for an internship for a couple of months and watching the danger, there were gangs in Grand Island, man. Like, not big, but I'm sure there were gangs there.
Oh, I have no doubt. There's, like he said, there's gangs everywhere, right? Anywhere you can commit a crime, there's going to be a gang. But it's mind-blowing to me that, like, I just have never connected gangs in Nebraska. Like I said, my experience in Nebraska is very limited to very southern, western Nebraska, like right above Colorado and in small cities. So
can I just say something? Like, people call me crazy all the time, all week. I'm crazy. Like, where is Coach B? Coach B not even on my level of crazy. That was the most craziest thing ever said on this program of all time. That was insane.
I mean, I don't know.
Everybody took I was saying it could be gang activity, it could be anything. People got their own opinion. You don't know what it is. He might just went there and said he didn't like it. Even if he got royal treatment, that don't mean he has to like it. He might have saw a better opportunity somewhere else.
apparently in Saginaw, Michigan. Streaming will be whatever they get the owners to pay for with production. The team's production wasn't consistent. Did you all watch Oregon's games? Yes, we did, but that's why you also kind of pick and choose and be particular about which teams get which broadcasts. I think Vice will be back. They did solid last year. I liked Vice as well. They did a pretty good job, I think. I can't confirm dates, but Beaumont's Arena hosts the Southeast Texas State Fair for about 3 weeks, including a rodeo. So maybe that contributes to some of that scheduling and accessible. I didn't like Vice, Texas Pete said. Interesting. Krish didn't like someone saying something bad about Omaha. Yeah, his orange blood is spilling all over the screen at the moment. They are undoubtedly everywhere, but to say that a player didn't come to Omaha because of that,
no, it's not like I'm biased or anything. It's just crazy. Like that to make that statement is so crazy, and the fact that like you should be worried about Dallas and the players that you have signed. You talk about blurry film, go through your entire roster. 90% of the guys haven't even played a professional down. Don't tell me about blurry film, bro. Like, worry about the food stamps.
Okay, here we go again with the inflammatory statements, Krish. Family can wait was the craziest thing ever said on this show. Did you see the episode talking about the Pirates and Oilers game? Because if you didn't, you definitely need to go back and watch that one, because the craziest thing I've ever heard on this program was we're going to oil them up. That was pretty bad. We're going to run a train on them.
You're not ready for the May 18th episode. You're not ready for the stuff I'm about to say then. So, Mike Davis, you shouldn't even get off the bus. That's my message to you.
Wow.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
We're gonna take a quick break, run a commercial, and then we got a ton of topics we're gonna roll through pretty quick on the AIF, the TAL, and kind of wrap this bad boy up. And then at the end of the show, I'll do a quick unboxing for you guys. Although I'll wait for all the topics to be done. So we are going to hit that commercial. We'll be right back and discuss a couple more topics.
Yo, what's good? Cedric the bus driver here. I don't know about you guys, but I know what I will be doing every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Thursday nights too. I'll be over at Shady Sports Network, so catch up with me. Holla at your boy.
All right, those reactions are rolling in. Glad to hear it. Okay, so we're gonna. Yes, you do, Mike Davis. You live rent free in Krish's head all year round, 365 days a year. So we're gonna transition over to the AIF. There's been a little bit of news coming out of the AIF this past week, which the Odessa Drillers, initially announced as a part of the South Division, will be playing an independent schedule in the AIF in preparation for joining the league in 2027, and they have announced that their head coach will be named on Monday. The league now lists 5 official teams for 2026, including the Pennsylvania Union, which are playing just one game. Just a couple notes about the season that are kind of interesting. They have 3 or 4 different weeks where only one game is played, and then basically their 16-game regular season stretches from January 30th all the way to April 30th. So a very interesting stretch, how they kind of set up their schedule, but didn't really want to spend a ton of time on any of that. Anybody have any crazy thoughts about Odessa Drillers playing independent schedule in 2026?
I'm kind of confused on how it's going to work. I was talking to Chris about this the other day. I thought they were supposed to be in a different league. Then they come out saying they going back to the AIF and they playing the independent schedule. So what does that mean? Like you're not going to play your league schedule?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting scenario all the way around. I think it probably has something to do with arena availability, if I'm being honest. I know their arena was supposed to be going through some renovations, so I'm not really entirely sure how that all came about. Adam Snow says, clip it and point me to that clip, Sam. I definitely will try and find it. It was one of our many 3-hour shows like months ago. The consistency was lame. Some games reminded me of some of the early San Jose Panthers broadcasts. You go, Krish. Tell Sam what you think. Unhinged would be an understatement for how off topic this show segments get. That's pretty accurate. We try not to, but it goes off the rails a lot. Would love to see the Jacksonville Sharks join the AF1, and I'm biased because I'm 30 minutes away, but Carolina Cobras moving to Greenville, South Carolina would be a great move, in my opinion. Please remember to hit the like button, of course. The Greenville already has a minor league hockey team, so arena is available. And then Ben McToy checking in. Mike at it again. Ben, easy killer. I'm just a fan watching a show. Awesome. So the other big news that I wanted to address with the TAL was the announcement of a team that will be coming in Monroe, Louisiana. From an article that was out about this move, Martin said the Coliseum will host 7 games and pay a guaranteed $49,000 per year in rent to cover required staffing. That's per year. That's not terrible at all. He added the league will return a facility fee on each ticket sold, and all concession sales will remain with the county. This was in an article from the commissioner of the arena. So that's the kind of the big news out of the TAL. There's also one other big piece of news is that Eau Claire appears to be selling their turf and dasher pads. Some of the things were already spoken for, but there was a post recently in the Arena League group for sale of all their equipment. So that's an interesting kind of ripple in the Eau Claire story as we kind of follow along with them. Any thoughts on Louisiana getting another team for 2026?
I like it. I mean, they're building a nice little southern stronghold there with Monroe, with Arkansas, with Memphis. I mean, Ozarks as well. I mean, it's just a nice little 4-team quadrant, I guess, in those states. So being able to limit that travel, and I mean, it's really beautiful scenery down there if you're able to drive through it. So it's really nice. So I actually think it's a really good idea.
I'm a fan of it too. I agree with Cody.
Yeah, I think this is a big move for them.
I think it's adding a division.
Yeah, I think that's probably eventually the long-term goal is have some
hire your boy, James Seaver. If they could try to get him to come down to Monroe, I think that would be a nice move because he knows the community in Louisiana really well. So
I completely agree.
How far is Shreveport? How far is Shreveport from there?
I would have to look that up. I am not certain.
I think Shreveport's in the northwest area corner, and then Monroe's in the northeast. So it's kind of on the other side of the state, up on the top part. Could be mistaken, but
Only thing that scares me, Shady, Chris, Eclair announced they got a head coach, new ownership, and then it's some guy who's not even a part of Eclair is selling their turf, and that's what threw me off because he's not even a part of the team.
I had heard that that was the previous ownership group selling stuff, and that basically the new ownership group or the new group involved wanted to get all new things. But I don't know how true that is. And with the TAL schedule out, Eau Claire is on the schedule, just so we're all clear. So, I mean, I don't think this is like necessarily a concern yet, but you know, with their schedule kicking off, you know, coming up here in 5 months, it would be interesting if there was any sort of issues coming up on the season. But yeah, that is an interesting note. I was not aware that guy's not involved with the team. One final thought that I wanted to get to, and I wanted to go around the horn here. Cody, I know you've seen it because we kind of talked about it in our group chat. Krish, I know you have seen it as well. Coach B, did you see the video that's going around from Cam Joseph this week?
No, I didn't.
So I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but basically Cam Joseph is he's got a big following on social media. He was a part of the Carolina Cobras last season. And basically he came out and produced a video saying that it was the worst decision of his life to leave college to play professional arena football. And for the record, I just want to start this conversation off by saying that we would never advocate for any player to leave college with eligibility left to go play professional arena football. Just wanted to throw that out there before we start this conversation. But some of the comments that he said in the video, I don't have a problem with what he said. Obviously, his decision making, if he feels that's the worst decision of his life, he is more than entitled to feel that way. The problem I had with the video were some of his comments that all of indoor football, or most of indoor football, is unstable. So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this overall situation, like how you feel about how this video is being received and why it seems to be that videos like this get so much traction, but then you have videos from other players that are saying, oh, this has been the greatest opportunity of my life or whatever, and those don't get the same amount of traction.
Do you think it was perceived wrong?
Go for it.
You think it was perceived wrong? Because he could have been saying, if you a college kid, don't go play arena football till you're done. He just didn't word it the way he was supposed to word it. I think that was honestly, he just telling his story, like you said. If you a college player, like Sam said, never go play professional sports, because once you accept a check, your college eligibility is over with. You can't go back. So I probably would take it. That's why he said that was the worst decision of his life, because after he got paid, now he can't go back and play college anymore. I don't think it was more so arena football is the worst part.
No, I would agree, and I think that's where I think that's why it got so negative, such a negative connotation. But at the same time, he actually physically says most of indoor football is not stable based on his experience with one team. But Cody, what were you saying?
I was going to say the reason why it gets more traction is because people like to crap on anything negative, because some people like things, and because a couple of people don't like things, they're going to gravitate towards the negative and start building this group of negativity. I'm not saying that this is what this guy's out for, but at the same time, are his comments true? In some realm, yes. Indoor and arena football is very, very unstable. There's only a select few teams that have been since the 90s. Arizona, I mean, if you want to include Iowa, the Omaha Beef, like there's only a couple of teams that have been from the 90s to now. So if you really want to put that to the point, yes, it is very unstable. The difference is, can you get stability? That is the difference. I think you obviously very, very much can. To that credit, you joined a team that, for all intents and purposes, the four of us here plus more kind of knew that Carolina was not on good footing. We knew that there was a point in time where Carolina, amongst other teams, were going to fold. There have been plenty of teams and plenty of leagues that have folded before a season, after a season, in the season. So yes, is there stability? Yes and no. It depends on the teams that you go to, the ownerships, the coaches, things like that. You made the wrong choice. Stick with it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for you. It doesn't work out for a lot of players, and they go and retire and go do something other than football. For other people that can keep their name going and stay in the leagues and stay, moving up, moving down, whatever, great for them. Like, I'm not going to trash this guy. I'm not going to trash his opinions or things. That's just what they are. They are his opinions. He's entitled to them, but they're the wrong opinions. I'm kidding. No, it's like, again, he just had a bad experience. We'll leave it at that.
Agreed. And sorry, go ahead.
Chris always say it all. Chris say it all the time. I don't even really think he went into a bad situation. Eventually, it got bad, but at first, a lot of players in arena football are gonna want to go play for Coach Negron. He's just that player's guy. Players love Coach Negron. So when he there, you think it's gonna be a good situation because Coach Negron not gonna stay nowhere that it's not gonna be. So nobody knew that situation was gonna turn out bad. We had an idea, but I don't think he was in a bad situation because Coach McGrone gonna make sure his players is taken care of the best of ability he can.
Yeah, and like look, and I love this comment by Ben here, by the way, but I want to say this, like a lot of guys come into this and think it's gonna be easy. I'll use another example. Minnesota, they gave Richie Murphy an opportunity. That turned out to be a big mistake because all Richie Murphy does is talk about how it's 37U, how he's risking life for CTE, like all this stuff. Like I got guys from the SEC that come. You know, we got high level players, so I see the best of the best. That's why I'm so like critical on guys who are going to make it. I knew Cam Joseph wasn't going to be good in Carolina. Coach McGrone sat on a podcast and said he was going to be a Rookie of the Year candidate, right? I still have that clip. So Cam Joseph was terrible at the tryout. If you watch a tryout video, he was dropping so many passes. He was terrible at the FAU tryout. He's not a good football player. He's not. He's a good content creator. I've been watching Cam Joseph for like over 5-6 years since he started. I've been a fan of his content. I just thought that video was so insensitive and it's not taking responsibility. He could have said, oh, man, I just wasn't good enough. But he didn't. He wanted to make other people look bad. And that's such a sorry thing to do. So.
Uh-oh. We got a surprise guest that we'll welcome on here in a second.
Did the guy Murphy, isn't he about to sign with an arena team after talking stuff about it? And he's about to sign with an arena team. Richie Murphy is.
And he calls it 37U to get clicks. Bro, you're not good. Like
That's fair. I mean, that's part of what bothers me is like a lot of these guys that have the big social media following, it's all negative, you know, like you don't see a ton of positive when it comes to that, but it's unfortunate. You know, my thing about Cam's video that really bothered me is he had an opportunity and the platform to really educate players that do not know the intricacies of indoor football. He could have sat on there and been like, do not quit college to go to indoor football. I'm not saying indoor football is a bad opportunity. I'm not saying you shouldn't play indoor football. What I'm saying is you should exhaust all of your eligibility. And then he could have compounded on that and been like, when you do pursue indoor football, you have to research these things and laid out a groundwork for players to be like, hey, I can play indoor football. There are stable teams. There are teams that are going to take care of me correctly. I just need to do the proper research and vetting of the opportunities that are presented to me. I think a lot of times players, and I don't mean any disrespect to any players out there watching, so please don't take it this way when I say this, but I think players forget that at the end of the day, no matter where you sign, it's a job, right? So if you're a regular person and you're out there in the real world, are you going to go just take any job just to have a job? Or are you going to make sure it fits your needs, your goals, everything you are set up in life with? You're going to do the second. You're going to make sure that job fits what you need in your life, not vice versa. And that's the problem that a lot of players ignore. Yes, there's limited opportunities in football, but there's enough opportunities to go around that you don't need to just take any opportunity. You need to be smart. You need to vet those teams. You need to pay attention to the signs on the wall. If there's sponsors out there saying that this team has not, gotten back to them or, they owe them money, chances are it's probably not a good situation to go to. Just saying. Now, like I said, we have a surprise guest. I'm willing to bet his team does not have a lot of claims of sponsors, being owed money. So, Coach Davis, what's up? How's it going?
What's up, guys? I had the comment on this one just because, like, people in general don't understand this is a profession, right? The CFL is a profession. The NFL is a profession. And no disrespect to anybody in their college or pro career, but if you cannot play a snap in your college team, you're probably not going to play for a professional team. You might find a lower league that you can get into, right? But again, these kids don't ask for guidance. They just, I call this word, I use the term so much, I call them street beggars. You're on the corner and you're begging for any opportunity, and not every opportunity is the right opportunity, right? Like, do your research just like you did when you went to college. Choose the college. Sometimes you're unfortunate and the college chooses you, but you still have to make a decision. So when you get people like Cam that goes out there and posts this stuff that has a big following, it has a negative image on every league. Not the IFL, not the NAL, not the AA2, AI, none of it. It has a negative backfire to everybody. And that's what frustrates me because people think this is easy, right? I've had first round draft picks in Vegas, didn't make it. I've had second round draft picks in Vegas, didn't make it. Everybody has the ability to have guys like that. And the first thing that people said, damn, I didn't know it was this tough. I didn't know these dudes could really play. Right. And I don't care what team you're in and what level you're in. Everybody has a guy. Most teams have a guy that are on your team that when you see him for the first time, you're like, how is he here? Everybody. I don't care in what level you're at. Everybody has that one guy that slips through the cracks that when you see him, you're like, man, what did I miss? Like, why is he here? And so it just frustrates me to see guys post that. And granted, every situation is not created equal. I get it, right? Like, I don't care where you are. Every situation has its benefits. Every situation has its downfalls, right? Like, I don't care if it's the competition is too good, the housing not good enough. Every situation has benefits. You have to find the benefits that work for you. And that would be the only advice I could tell to any of these kids and these players, even coaches. Coaches want to coach, and they're so quick to jump onto a job, and oh man, it's not what I thought it was. That means you didn't do your research, and all it does is you get one bad taste in your mouth. And I'll leave you with this: it's kind of like all of us dated a girl in college. If that girl turned out to be psycho, did you stop dating? And I'm keeping it PG, but no, you went on to the next. It's the same thing, but you have. Okay, in your back of your mind, man, I can't have that type of girl no more. It's the same situation in some of these teams, in some of these leagues. Get in where you fit in and what's good for you, and then move from there.
Absolutely. And for the
Sorry
record,
about the rant, guys.
No, you're good. Honestly, I'm glad to have your context. And if you look in the comments right now, Ben McToy, very reputable guy in the arena football scene, has been employed by multiple teams. He's saying that he wants to be a guide for players. So I mean, find these resources, reach out to people like us, and obviously we don't know everything, but we're going to do our best to try and guide you to hopefully people that can give you the information you need to make the right decision. Or, we'll tell you, hey, there are some concerning signs for these teams. Any one of these, us on this panel or Coach Davis, I'm sure would afford you that opportunity, because we don't want to see guys put in bad positions. Now, obviously, Carolina was in a rough situation. We were all hoping that they were going to dig out of the hole that they were in, but the ownership situation was tough. There was the one owner left. It was a mess. So, but the point is, there was writing on the wall. There was situations that were out there that were very public that he could have avoided this. And also, like I said, this whole video could have been spun as a positive thing for other people if he had just done it a little bit differently. But it is what it is. I will say he's a very respectful guy. I wish him nothing the best. Him and I had a spirited conversation on Facebook. I'm sure you can go still see it if you want to. He was very respectful the whole time. So I do have a lot of respect for how he handled it and handled himself to everybody who had negative comments. But at the end of the day, I think his video kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, though. So, ton of comments in here. Coach, you're welcome to stick around if you want. If you want to get out of here, that's perfectly okay as well. But
Chris might say something outlandish. I might need to stay on for a minute.
All right, sounds good. Columbus as well, in a league that can stay around for a long time, but the teams that come and go burn the markets of fans. It can really do bad damage for the sport as a whole. This will be season 20 for Columbus, as Roger Beck, the owner's checking in. Richie came in the first game, got Defensive Player of the Week. It's true. All about the media. There are some media bloggers that love to report bad stories. We know who those amateurs are. Arena football don't have enough people getting good stories out. I do want to say there are plenty of people covering arena football with positive messages behind them. You just got to know where to find them, and we're happy to point you guys in the right directions. We're not the only content creators that do this the right way. We're one of many, actually. I won't say Richie isn't a baller. Richie can play for real. He's not a star, but a solid rotational guy. Arena indoor football has helped change many people's lives. People need the right guidance, like Ben McToy stated. or stories like are on bloggers pages that people see as unprofessional because of the stories like they like to report. As always, please remember to hit the like button. Amen. You have to research coaches, areas, roster. A lot of people checking in that know what they're talking about. So what he did with the video was make himself a student for real now. Might as well go play 37 UO now. All right. So any final thoughts from anybody before we wrap this bad boy up for the day? Awesome. Krish, anything?
I remember in 2023 when Vegas signed, Robert Kimbichi. He played at Ole Miss, first round pick, right? And I just think like that's the level of talent, that's in this sport. And so like it's really hard for like a lot of outsiders think they can come in and dominate and they can't. Like just, like there's no reason to disrespect the talent. You got to look around like Ben said, and I agree with him 100%. So
Agreed. Well, this has been a long episode. Lots to talk about. Lots of fiery comments from Krish as per usual. Coach B had some stuff in there as well. Coach Davis, thanks for joining us as well. I think great episode overall. Appreciate everybody who tuned in. Thank you for joining us for two hours and change. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already, and make sure you subscribe. But before we get out of here, one thing that I wanted to open up, I guess, since I hadn't already, is I now have some Columbus Lions gear to rock on the show next week. This awesome shirt, courtesy of Mr. Roger Beck. So thank you to the Columbus Lions for sending me some gear. Really appreciate that. Look forward to working with you guys this season. Looking forward to the AAL season as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. But on that note, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Make sure you hit that like button.
Guys, if you want gear, I need addresses. I got a couple. Stuff goes out Monday.
All right. Sounds good. I'll send you an address right after.
And sizes.
I can do that. I can definitely do that. We'll make sure to get TJ's stuff since he's not on here to see that. But thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate that.
All right, guys.
Well. Thank you for tuning in. And we will catch you guys next Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. As always, we got some great guests next week. As mentioned before, I think we have Chris Hemphill, New Mexico, Chupacabras, Director of Recruiting, and then I think he's also DB coach. And then I believe we also have I'm blanking the other guest. But
Logan Hernandez, the new GM in Southwest. They run through GMs like players in Southwest. They have a new GM every year, so I wonder what's going on there. But
well, there's nothing going on there. I can elaborate off camera. But on that note, we'll get out of here. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Yo, what's good? Cedric, the bus driver here. I don't know about you guys, but I know what I will be doing every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Thursday nights, too. I'll be over at Shady Sports Network, so catch up with me. Holla at your boy.
Real quick before we end this, Brian, I did not see your package yet. I'm sure it'll be here today. I will open it next week on the show, I promise you. On that note, we'll catch you guys next week.